pushed out into the space. This will help us in navigation capabilities, in our outreach into space, and clearly, of course, sitting right now are the scientists who must have worked for months to ensure it will be a successful launch today. Let's dip in to the words coming in.
सभी सहायक तथा सुरक्षा तंत्र अपेक्षानुकूल प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं। साथ ही उपग्रह को भी पावर ऑन कर स्वास्थ्य जांच तथा बैटरी आवेशन किया जा रहा है। सभी प्रणोदक टंकियों पर उचित दबाव सुनिश्चित किया जा चुका है। रियल टाइम प्रोग्राम को भी ऑन बोर्ड कंप्यूटर पर लोड कर दिया गया है।
Launch authorization board has cleared to go ahead with the countdown and launch operations of GSLV F-12.
15 minutes is what I just heard is likely to be the launch. What will it help us do? This will be used in terrestrial, aerial and marine transportation. The mission is expected to last 12 years. So everyone will be hopeful that this will be a successful launch. It will be the GSLV NVS-1 Navic launch. That will be, it is a part of a series that will be launched into space.
29 May 2023.
All stations to note, Mission Director has given authorization for launch.
For the launch has also been given for the 2,232 kilogram spacecraft to enhance India's navigational and monitoring capabilities.
27.5 hours long that had started at 7:42 in the morning on Sunday. During the countdown, the launch vehicle systems, liquid propellant storage and servicing systems at the launch complex, and the range instrument
Data loggers are not shown in short to station.
carry
So
out
if you're
final
wondering what
preparation
exactly is
activities
happening right now, remember this is a navigation and Indian constellation. Its abbreviation is NAV-IC. It's a regional navigation satellite system. It's a constellation of 7 satellites in orbit that work in tandem with the ground stations and connect for coordination. This will, remember, the network will provide navigational services to both general users, strategic users, and also, of course, for specifically for the country.
The onboard computer takes over, and very soon thereafter the actual launch takes place.
And we'll try and cut across live when that launch takes place of the GSLV NVS-1. I'm heading into a very short break. I get you the latest on what's happening with Satyendra Jain, the former Minister of Delhi government. He's not been looking well. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal met Satyendra Jain in the hospital, calling him a brave man and a hero. Apart from losing a lot of weight, he also had a fall in a lavatory in the prison. We get you the latest on that after a break.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political back.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold, and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Let's bring you news now from the northeastern state of Manipur. Manipur continues to remain tense. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is visiting Manipur. He's scheduled for that visit today. Ahead of the visit, however, fresh violence is seen and reported from several parts of the state. After alleged militants carrying weapons set many houses and cars on fire in Sirao and Sugnu areas, an angry mob also stormed into BJP MLA K. Raghumani's house. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh on Sunday claimed that around 33 terrorists have been killed by the armed forces during retaliatory and defensive operations. He's also mentioned that Kuki militants, according to him and the government, are behind the recent attack of arson and violence that have taken place.
Mr. Amit Shah ji is coming to Manipur for the 3 days. So we request and appeal to him to take the necessary steps and action as early as possible in his journey, because this is not a time to negotiate and this is not a time to talk about the peace, because if this action is not taken to the earliest, the Manipur will vanish.
Remember that for the past few months, there have been a lot of violence that has been reported and ethnic tensions that have been reported in Manipur. It appeared that there were a few days of peace and lull, but it has now again left with just ahead of Amit Shah's visit to Manipur. Now, according to the government, there have been Kuki militants that have led with arson and violence in other parts of Manipur, specifically the border areas. Remember, the violence actually started after there was a tribal march that was being taken place against the Meiteis getting the scheduled tribe status as well. Before that, there were also references to poppy cultivation, narco-terrorism that was countered by the government and led to ethnic tensions. Now, it's been going on for many weeks now. According to the government, the Kuki militants is what they are blaming, and they've said that terrorists have been killed by the armed forces as well. But you can look at how houses, residential areas are being targeted. These are ethnic tensions, and there will have to be confidence building measures that will have to put in place between the Meiteis and the Kukis specifically at a time like this. The situation is not looking good. Internet has also been curtailed for the past few days. There are also references to narco-terrorism that has come. Remember, Manipur borders Myanmar. There is an issue of infiltration, allegations of infiltration coming in from there as well. I want to bring in Indrajit Kundu on the latest on that. Indrajit, it's very disheartening to see that there is still again fresh violence, because there was a brief period of lull and it appeared that at least some sense of normalcy had retained. Are we looking at ethnic tensions again that have erupted? What are you picking up about information coming in on the ground? What is the Chief Minister saying? Because I can see that there are a lot of tempers that are running high on this.
Well, the situation is extremely volatile, Pooja, on the ground. Yes, passions are running high, and therefore there is a need to, tone down the rhetoric from both sides who are involved in these clashes. As you said, that there has been long-standing, fissures between the tribals and non-tribals, something that has now come to the surface ever since, the first week of May. This was brewing since January. A lot of people on the ground are telling me, and tensions were palpable, but now that has come to the surface. As far as the security situation and law and order situation is concerned, the army and the paramilitary forces are deployed. The Manipur police is in action right now, as stated by the Chief Minister yesterday. He claimed that a lot of insurgents, and specifically he used the term cookie terrorists, were gunned down by the Manipur police in action. That has given rise to a lot of anger once again, with a section from the minority tribals now alleging that in the garb of action against militancy and insurgency, minority cookie tribal villages are being attacked. This is the charge that have been leveled by the other side. In this backdrop, Home Minister Amit Shah is scheduled to visit Manipur today. He is likely to be there for about 2 or 3 days. We are given to understand that he will be landing later in the day. But the situation on the ground remains volatile. Over the past 2 days, reports from the ground suggest that there have been indiscriminate firing in certain pockets of the state. And that has resulted in a caution as far as the administration is concerned.
Keep tracking all the latest on that. This is a sensitive situation right now, and we'll only put out verified information right now. We have more information coming in from Manipur. Let's take a look at that. Ahead of Home Minister Amit Shah's visit to the riot-hit Manipur, the Congress party is meeting the president over Manipur violence. The Congress delegation will be in some time meet the president on there is going to be some schedule likely tomorrow is what I'm being told as information from our sources coming in. Tomorrow the Congress delegation will likely meet the president. This is important to remember politically because Manipur has a BJP government at the state. There's of course a BJP government at the center, and therefore the Congress is jumping in and will be charging at the government at the state and center to say that the issue has not been handled. They will be likely meeting the president tomorrow. But there is a schedule, of course, depending on the itinerary and the time schedule of the President Draupadi Murmu as well. But this is also ahead in just next few hours that Home Minister Amit Shah is likely to be heading to Manipur.
सर मणिपुर सिचुएशन के लिए क्या ब्रीफ करने वाले हैं सर?
उसके लिए हम मंगलवार के दिन प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया से टाइम पूछे हैं. हम जाकर डेलीगेशन में जाकर उनसे मिलेंगे और मिलकर उनसे ये सारी चीजें बताएंगे.
Gautam has the latest on that. Rahul, of course, because there's both BJP at the state and the center for Manipur, there's going to be a big political showdown. What are you expecting from the Congress party schedule?
We can expect that a delegation would be going and meeting President Draupadi Murmu tomorrow. President Mallikarjun Kharge, while speaking with media persons, said that he'll be seeking an appointment with Draupadi Murmu, and tomorrow you can expect this delegation would be apprising Draupadi Murmu about the ground situation that are prevailing in Manipur. The Congress party is saying that the government, the state government, has completely failed in terms of providing any safeguards to the citizens of Manipur, and this only shows that how there's a dire need of a president's rule in the state, given the fact that law and institution has completely collapsed, and therefore you can expect that this delegation would be going tomorrow. Earlier, the Congress party had also sent a fact-checking team on the ground zero just to understand that what's really happening, and it was a 3-member commission. So you can expect that that report would also be shared with President Murmu, just to apprising her that the situation is not conducive, and that the president must intervene and impose president rule in the state.
All right, Rahul Gautam with the latest of the Congress party set to visit the president. With regard to what's been unfolding in Manipur, we'll be tracking the latest coming in from the northeastern state. All right, we have big news coming in from Sriharikota because that's where the Indian Space Research Organization is gearing up for GSLV NVS-1 Navic satellite launch. Looks like there's been a downpour there, but that's not stopping the space enthusiasts, youngsters from schools, colleges who have gathered there. And it's heartening to see the number of space enthusiasts at Sriharikota to witness the launch. The team of scientists tracking the latest. Let's dip in for a while to understand what's happening.
Based on liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen stored at cryogenic temperatures as propellants. This stage operates for 13.5 minutes and increases the relative velocity of the rocket from 4.7 kilometers per second to 9.7 kilometers per second. The satellite NVS-01 is injected at an altitude of 251.5 kilometers with a relative velocity of 9.7 kilometers per second. Let me remind the viewers that the geosynchronous transfer orbit of NVS-01 has a perigee of 170 kilometers, which is how far the satellite will be at a point nearest to the Earth, and apogee, or the farthest point from Earth, of 36,744 kilometers nominally. Thrust burns of the satellite will then take it to the geostationary orbit.
So the spacecraft is part of the navigation with Indian constellation, the abbreviation Navic, and it's a series. It will aim to provide monitoring and navigational capability. Remember, these are Indian indigenous aircrafts that are being made. It is also about how the Indian Space Research Organization is pushing its merit to ensure that we can come at power with the global space missions, and that's about 3 minutes away. So I would like to stay on this big story. It's important as much to cover these issues, which is about the Indian space missions one by one. Remember, in the past few months, there have been GSLV launches of different kinds that have been put into the orbit. This one specifically will be terrestrial, aerial and marine transportation. It will have location-based services. There will be personal mobility, resource monitoring, survey and scientific research. There will be dissemination and synchronization of the information. So they will be in touch with the ground stations and safety of life alert dissemination as well. The mission is expected to last 12 years and is being launched with an indigenous developed rubidium atomic clock that will be attached this time from the Space Application Center. It's very interesting to see about how this is unfolding, and we'll go on the ground in just a short while, staying on with these visuals. On one side, remember the hard work of many of these scientists for many months, and this is of course the GSLV NVS-01 that you're looking at, will be launched in just about the next 2 minutes. Shilpa Nair, quickly before that countdown begins. Shilpa, this is going to be very interesting because it will help us in our space capabilities as well, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, Pooja. In fact, yet another prestigious launch as far as the ISR is concerned. This time around, it's a GSLV, that will be carrying an NVS satellite, NVS-01. That is the name of the satellite that the GSLV will be carrying and placing in intended orbit. Just few more minutes or few more seconds left for the launch of the GSLV F-12. In fact, the mission director and ISRO chairman S. Somnath, SDSP director Rajarajan, LPSC director V. Narayanan are present at the mission control complex, and members of the public, including children, are seated at the viewing gallery, and they're all holding umbrellas because the temperatures, of course, are soaring. It is around 34 degrees Celsius. So members of the public who are very keenly interested in watching the liftoff or the launch of the GSLV, they are also seated at the viewing gallery. And the mission director, of course, had authorized the launch of this navigation satellite. And in just a few seconds from now, it will take off.
Shreya, because we are in that final stage of the countdown, and this is ISRO prepping before. Remember, this is just a part. The big launch will be of the biggest missions of the year, Chandrayaan 3. Before that, so let's stay on now.
Activated. Minus 25 seconds.
PS2 VSPP open.
Minus 20 seconds. Minus 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift off normal.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन GSLV F-12 का चारों L-40s तथा कोर बूस्टर S-139 अपना सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए उद्देश्य कक्षा की ओर अग्रसर.
Nominal launch of the GSLV F-12 mission. The rocket flying by spewing fire into the clear sky of Sriharikota. GS-1 and L-40s together thrusting currently. The Shah ground station is currently tracking.
Count is in minute.
वर्तमान में प्रथम चरण प्रज्वलित है। इसका कार्यकाल लगभग 110 सेकंड का होगा। इसमें 4800 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है।
P2 change over to SCBT2.
The core 139 motor will continue to burn for 110 seconds, while the L40s continue to burn for a total of 150 seconds. Thrust developed by the GS1 S139 motor is 4,815 kilonewtons, while each of the L40s develops 762.5 kilonewtons.
प्रथम चरण को कट ऑफ कर दिया गया है। L40 अभी भी प्रज्वलित हैं।
This is a confirmation for the S139 burnout. L40s still developing thrust.
कुछ ही क्षणों में हम देखेंगे द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन तथा प्रथम चरण का पृथक्कन।
The current altitude is 67 kilometers.
40 stages thrust cut off. Stage separated. Second stage ignited.
जी हाँ, द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है जैसा निर्धारित था और प्रथम चरण को यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है।
The second stage has ignited and the first stage has been separated from the ongoing launch vehicle. Currently, Shah station is tracking.
Plus 3 minutes.
जी हाँ, यान पूर्णतः निर्धारित पथ को अनुकरण करता हुआ जा रहा है और द्वितीय चरण भी सामान्य निष्पादन कर रहा है। इस चरण का कुल कार्यकाल लगभग 140 सेकंड का होगा। इस दौरान यह 846 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न कर यान को करीब 130 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई तक ले जाएगा।
High thrust Vikas engine developing a nominal vacuum thrust of 846 kilonewtons. Vikas engine is a pump-fed engine.
Second stage performance normal.
Of UH25 as fuel and N2O4 as oxidizer. Here sky of Srihari.
Plus 4 minutes.
Load fairing separated.
चूंकि यान घने वातावरण से बाहर जा चुका है इसलिए ऊष्मा कवच की आवश्यकता नहीं रह गई है और इसलिए इसे यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है।
Two major flight events have taken place in recent past. The initiation of closed loop guidance and the separation of payload fairing.
Performance normal.
Currently the vehicle is going as per the predicted trajectory. Shar and Port Blair stations currently
Stage is
tracking.
authorized.
द्वितीय चरण सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए यान को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर ले जाता हुआ।
Second stage thrust cut off. Second stage
Plus
separate.
5 minutes.
Thrust ignition is commanded.
द्वितीय चरण को कट ऑफ के बाद में यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है और अंतिम चरण क्रायो अपर स्टेज का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है।
The cryogenic upper stage has commenced its operation. The nominal burn duration for cryo stage is more than 13 minutes. Nominal thrust of the cryogenic upper stage is 73.97 kilonewtons, while the operated thrust is 83.34 kilonewtons. The cryogenic propellants have a specific impulse of 453.5 seconds.
तृतीय चरण जिसे हम क्रायो अपर स्टेज के नाम से जानते हैं, यह बहुत ही जटिल इंजन होता है, इसलिए यहाँ काफी तालियों के साथ गड़गड़ाहट हम सुन सकते हैं जब तृतीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हुआ। कोई भी त्रुटि की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं होती है अंतरिक्ष मिशन में। जैसा कि आपको बताया गया, यह मिशन पूर्वी दिशा का मिशन है, इसलिए हमारे ग्राउंड स्टेशन शार तथा पोर्ट ब्लेयर स्थित भू स्टेशन इसे ट्रैक कर रहे हैं। तृतीय चरण का निष्पादन सामान्य और यान अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ता हुआ जा रहा है। अब हम प्रमोचन से 405 सेकंड की दूरी पर आ चुके हैं। ऊंचाई 145 किलोमीटर तथा सापेक्ष गति 5 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड।
+7 minutes.
We are more than 400 seconds past the launch time. Current altitude of the launch vehicle is 146 kilometers and the relative velocity 5.14 kilometers per second. Let me describe to the viewers in the meantime the description of the satellite taking ride in this mission. Navigation services using Indian constellation of satellites provides accurate real-time positioning and timing services over India.
Cryo stage performance normal.
1,500 kilometers around India. The Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, IRNSS, goes by an operational name Navic. The launch of IRNSS-1A took place in July 2013 and with the launch of IRNSS-1I in April 2018, the constellation of Navic with first generation of satellites, that is 3
Remember, it's not just about the launch that you're looking at, it's about different phases as well, and that also need to be tracked closely till it is in the orbit, and that's why the scientists are constantly updating about the mission and about different phases of the launch here on. Let's go across to Shilpa Nair for the latest on this. Shilpa, there have been several of these missions on which we've had this conversation, and it's good to see space enthusiasts also, specifically youngsters, tracking the latest on that. How important is this indigenous mission and the next generation satellite? It's part of the Navic series, Shilpa.
The heart of the navigation.
Well, Pooja, as far as the Navic satellite is concerned, the key applications of it include terrestrial, aerial and maritime navigation, precision agriculture, geodetic surveying and emergency services. And it also, of course, provides location-based services in mobile devices, orbit determination for satellites and marine fisheries, and timing services for financial institutions. So clearly, looking at the different specifications of this application, this satellite, of course, is extremely important as far as the strategic applications are concerned. It will be used for government agencies as well. But as of now, as far as launch is concerned, the rocket will be scheduled to deploy the satellite in a geosynchronous transfer orbit nearly 20 minutes after the flight. That is the reason why we are seeing the mission, of course, still going on despite the GSLV rocket taking off few minutes back. The total flight time is around 20 minutes. But so far, looking at the parameters and from what we're picking up from the command center, everything looks normal. Every stage, it has been performing normally is what the scientists at ISRO have been, saying through the command center. That is the instructions that we're getting as well. And the satellite, of course, will be placed at an altitude of about 251 kilometers. That is what the ISRO has said as far as this particular mission is concerned. And of course, like you rightly pointed, a lot of space enthusiasts, a lot of young kids have come to the viewing gallery because every time ISRO, of course, launches a satellite, every time they launch a rocket, there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement And that is the reason why many of them
therefore, it becomes also a reason for youngsters, specifically for school and college going students as well, to take more interest in India's space missions. Remember, school students even had made the Azadi Sat satellite that was being launched into space. It had issues, but at least it was a learning lesson. Now, this one that you're looking at had the growing requirements of the civil aviation sector for better positioning, navigation and timing. Let's listen in to the tracking of the phases of this launch.
इंडियन कॉन्स्टलेशन की स्थापना की गई। नाविक को इंडियन रीजनल नेविगेशन सैटेलाइट सिस्टम IRNS के नाम से भी जाना जाता है। नाविक को 7 उपग्रहों के नक्षत्र के साथ डिजाइन किया गया है। इस नक्षत्र के 3 उपग्रह
Work covers an area including India with a region of up to 1500 kilometers beyond the Indian boundary. And as we can see, it's heartening to see one by one the phases are reporting normal. And that it is now heading into its orbit as it has been scheduled, from where they will start tracking from the ground stations. My colleague Pramod Madhav is on the ground and he sent us this ground update. Let's go across to that.
S-band का उपयोग किया जाता है। नौवहन के कवरेज में भारत और उसके सीमाओं से लगे 1500 किलोमीटर के
Yet another important launch for ISRO, and behind us you could see the GSLV F-12 launch anytime. It will be going up the sky with a trail of smoke behind it, and this is a 3-stage rocket behind us that you see over there, and it is carrying a payload of 2,232 kilograms, and this is an important aspect because this rocket is carrying the 2nd generation navigation satellite for India, and it is called as NVS-1. An important aspect of this satellite that is being launched currently is that's the boom you hear currently from the rocket launch, and this particular satellite has something called as rubidium atomic clock, which is of very, very important significance because this satellite will be used for positioning, navigation and timing, all that are important aspects for a navigation satellite. And this rubidium clock is indigenously made in India, in Ahmedabad, and that is being carried in that rocket currently. This constellation will have 7 satellites, of which the 2nd generation first satellite has been launched behind us in that GSLV rocket, and it will take 18 minutes to reach 225 kilometers, like the shortest point. And after being positioned, that satellite would even reach a perigee apogee of 170 to nearly 36,000 kilometers, navigating around the Earth. This is Divyan, Pramod Madhav for India Today.
So that is Pramod Madhav right on the ground reporting that historic moment, just one of many India space missions. And this, remember, is just ahead of eventually the launch of the biggest mission, that will be the Chandrayaan 3. I'm leaving you with these visuals and wishing ISRO and our scientists all the very best for several future missions as well.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift off normal.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन GS
Paytm has launched a credit card in collaboration with SBI Cards and NCPI. The RuPay card offers exclusive privileges to customers worth up to 75,000 rupees with a complimentary Paytm First membership that also includes offers for OTT platforms and flight ticket discounts through the Paytm app. Cardholders will also receive a 2% cashback on all purchases on the app and a 1% cashback on spends elsewhere.
2 market share हो जाते हैं पेमेंट में. How many people use our consumer app and how many people use our merchant services? Merchant services, we dominate in this country. More number of merchant take payment using Paytm technology than any other, if you will. On issuing side, I think we've stayed focused on select customer base, and we are continuously growing. Our public listed company होने का advantage है. You're seeing our numbers quarter on quarter and user on user. We are committed to grow. What we are not chasing is a sort of vanity number, if you will. What we are chasing is a good customer base, and we are focused on monetization, as you've seen it. So we are consciously bothering about which kind of customers to acquire, which means that market share wise it may not be material, but on a revenue market share it is significantly material.
You are watching India Today.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Pooja Shali. Let's take you through first the headlines of this bulletin. India's landmark satellite launch. ISRO launches second generation navigation sat launched to boost Indian GPS system.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन GSLV F12 का चारों L40s तथा कोर बूस्टर S139 अपना सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए
Cop kiosk clouds dangle for justice. Police registers an FIR against the wrestlers. Opposition breathing fire on the BJP and the government at centre. Calls it a black day of democracy. Prime Minister Modi's government to complete 9 years. Over 50 rallies are being planned across India. 12 BJP bigwigs to woo the voters in the states. Congress assures mega 2024 victory against PM Modi. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah gets the charge of the Finance Ministry portfolio. DK Shiv Kumar gets major and medium irrigation and Bengaluru city development. Portfolios distributed among the ministers, but important finance one goes to Siddaramaiah. Ahead of Home Minister Amit Shah's visit to Manipur, fresh violence is being reported from the northeastern state. Chief Minister Biren Singh claims 40 terrorists killed by security forces. All right, big breaking news coming in. The hearing is on the NIA plea for death penalty for former terrorist Yasin Malik. The NIA has told the court that Yasin Malik is behind the killing of the 4 Air Force personnel, Air Force senior officers in fact. Incriminating material including documents and electronic devices were seized from him. This is big news coming in. Remember, this is the Delhi High Court that's hearing the National Investigations plea seeking a death penalty for Kashmiri secessionist leader who's been a former terrorist as well, associated with the Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front, the JKLF terror group. Yasin Malik was convicted in a terror funding case a few years ago and sentenced to life imprisonment. Kanu Sardar, legal correspondent, joins us for the latest on that. Kanu, go ahead. What are we hearing from the hearing that just started from the court?
Yes, Pooja, the hearing is underway. When we speak, Solicitor General of India, Tushar Mehta, is appearing for the National Investigating Agency before the High Court and has told that, how Yasin Malik was deeply involved in all the terrorist activities in Jammu and Kashmir, how he was responsible for kidnapping Ruqayya Saeed at one point of time, and how the kidnapping of 4 personals, how he was involved in the murder of 4 Air Force personnel and everything. And the NIA is stressing in their plea that since Yasin Malik has pleaded guilty, and that is the main reason why he was given a life sentence by a trial court, should not become a precedent for other cases. So NIA is saying that since he has pleaded, that doesn't make his charges less. That is why the NIA has filed an appeal and seeking for a death penalty in the case.
This is a very important point that you're telling us. Stay on with me, Kanu Sardar, because what the Solicitor General has said, that you get your training from Pakistan, you indulge in all these activities, and then you plead guilty, and then you be in jail, and then you claim that you should be let go. That does not stand. And the charge sheet also says he's pleaded guilty. This was with regard to the Indian Air Force officers, remember, who had died in the line of duty, who were killed, and the accusations coming directly on Yasin Malik on that. This is a big moment, remember, very important hearing. Kanu, do tell us about it, because the focus in some ways has been over the whole issue of death penalty for Yasin Malik. Mehbooba Mufti had said that shouldn't happen. There are many, specifically from the Kashmiri Pandit community, that have also supported the death penalty. So there are different reactions coming in from that. What are you hearing about the hearing right now, as and when more details are coming in? Kanu.
Pooja, the hearing is still underway, but what is NIA has said that, a message should not go amongst the people that who indulges in these kind of activities, that by pleading guilty, you can escape your charges. So in this case, the trial court, though had was convinced that he has committed lot of things, and he has been convicted under several charges in UAPA, but still the death penalty was not given, only on the basis that since he has pleaded guilty. So this is the main contention which has been raised by the Solicitor General before the High Court, that it should not become a precedent, so that the message should not go down in the line that, if you plead guilty, even if you commit an offence and if you plead guilty, your punishment can be lessened. So it is basically on these grounds the arguments are being made right now.
The issue, remember, has been on the terror funding charges, isn't it? Because yes, he has been a known former terrorist. He was associated with the Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front. I remember he was part of not only inciting violence, he had then later claimed to become a Gandhian of sorts, but his activities are very well known. But how important is this hearing right now? Is this primarily about the terror funding issues, or is this going beyond that as well?
No, the hearing is right now going, the Solicitor General is explaining the conduct of Yasin Malik over the years. Okay. They have cited that how the JKLF then came into existence in 1974, then what was the role that Yasin Malik used to play, and how ISI was active in the whole terrorist activity in the Jammu and Kashmir. So the arguments are being made around this right now.
So Kanu Sarda is tracking all the latest. I want to add here, what's happening in the court is not just about the terror funding or the Indian Air Force personnel killing, but Yasin Malik has also been accused of abducting Rubaya Saeed. Remember, she was the daughter of the then Home Minister Mufti Mohammad Saeed, sister of Mehbooba Mufti, and it had eventually, because of that abduction, she was rescued, but it had led to the release of major big known terrorists who were involved later in 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks mastermind. So this must be remembered of the sort of involvement that Yasin Malik was in with regard to Jammu and Kashmir specifically. Thank you so much, Kanu Sarda, for the latest. Big news coming in about the wrestlers, the FIR that has been registered. We have now the details with the FIR that has been accessed by India Today Television. The FIR has been against 12 individuals, including Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart and Bajrang Punia. The FIR mentions that Delhi police has alerted that their protest can hamper national prestige, that the Delhi police officer on duty, one of the head constables, lodged a complaint that he and other officials were heckled by protesters. He received an injury also at the back of his neck, despite senior officers trying to have a dialogue with the wrestlers. This is according to the police statement, that they tried to have a dialogue with the wrestlers, but they refused to agree, did not pay attention to the loud hailers that were coming in from the cops. The wrestlers broke 2 barricades, obstructed police personnel on duty. Remember, the wrestlers were at Jantar Mantar, and then they decided to get into a scuffle with the cops and march towards the Naya Parliament that was being inaugurated right at that moment. Of course, it was a VVIP zone, but till now we had information that FIR has been lodged, but now we know that the names have also been mentioned. I want you to listen in first to the senior police official speaking.
इनके खिलाफ जो भी लीगल एक्शन होना है वह नई दिल्ली डिस्ट्रिक्ट ले रही है, क्योंकि ये हमारे लिए बहुत गलत है कि वो वाला दिन और वो वाला समय जब हमारी सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज हमारे नए पार्लियामेंट के उद्घाटन में बिजी थी, तब इन्होंने ये सब करने की कोशिश की है, जिसकी उनको कोई परमिशन नहीं थी।
The latest on that is Arvind Oja. Arvind, हमें एग्जैक्टली बताएं, क्या ये नाम मेंशन्ड है इन रेसलर्स के एफआईआर में जो आपने एक्सेस किया है, और क्या लिखा है इस एफआईआर में?
नहीं, बिल्कुल, इंडिया टुडे के पास एफआईआर की कॉपी भी है और इसमें साफ साफ लिखा हुआ है कि किस तरीके से जो रेसलर्स थे उनको परमिशन नहीं मिली थी। जो नया पार्लियामेंट उसका उद्घाटन हो रहा था, उसका इनॉगरेशन हो रहा था, और वहां पर वो मार्च करना चाहते थे जिनकी परमिशन नहीं मिली थी। उसके बाद इन लोगों ने बैरिकेड्स तोड़े जंतर मंतर पर। उसके बाद जब ये संसद भवन की तरफ जाने लगे, पुलिस के सीनियर ऑफिशियल वहां पर मौजूद थे, उन्होंने रोकने की कोशिश की और कहा कि वो डिटेन्ड हो जाए। वो डिटेन्ड होने को भी तैयार नहीं थे और पुलिस के साथ स्कफल हुआ, जिसके बाद सभी को डिटेन्ड किया गया। पुलिस ने राइटिंग की एफआईआर दर्ज की है, दंगा भड़काने की, उसके अलावा सरकारी ड्यूटी में बाधा डालने की एफआईआर दर्ज की है। और एफआईआर तकरीबन 12 लोगों के खिलाफ है, जिसमें जो ऑर्गेनाइजर है उनके खिलाफ भी एफआईआर है। बजरंग पुनिया, साक्षी मलिक और विनेश फोगाट, इनका नाम भी एफआईआर में, यानी सीधे सीधे जो ये रेसलर है इनके खिलाफ दंगा भड़काने की एफआईआर दर्ज हुई। और साथ ही साथ एफआईआर में ये भी लिखा हुआ है कि जो रेसलर है वो मानने को तैयार नहीं थे और बकायदा पुलिस के साथ उनका स्कफल हुआ, जिसमें कुछ पुलिस कर्मियों को भी चोट आई है। साथ ही साथ दिल्ली पुलिस ने अब ये साफ कर दिया है पूजा कि जंतर मंतर पर दोबारा इनको प्रोटेस्ट करने की परमिशन दिल्ली पुलिस नहीं देने वाली है। अगर इनको कहीं परमिशन प्रोटेस्ट करना भी है तो वो दूसरी जगह पर करेंगे, लेकिन उसके लिए भी दिल्ली पुलिस की परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी। तो दिल्ली पुलिस ने साक्षी मलिक, बजरंग पुनिया और विनेश फोगाट समेत जो ऑर्गेनाइजर थे कुल 12 लोगों के खिलाफ एफआईआर दर्ज की है पूजा।
अब हमें बताइए, तो अब क्या स्ट्रैटेजी आपको लग रहा है रेसलर्स की होगी, क्योंकि जंतर मंतर उनको वापस नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा है। दे हैव बीन बार्ड टू एंटर इनटू द प्रोटेस्ट वेन्यू। दे से दे आर वेरी डिसअपॉइंटेड। तो क्या ये रेसलर्स की प्रोटेस्ट जारी रहेगी? क्योंकि बृजभूषण शरण सिंह ने तो कह दिया है कि वो बिल्कुल इनोसेंट है, उनके अगेंस्ट चार्जेस बेसलेस है, और रेसलर्स कह रहे हैं कि धरना खत्म नहीं होगा। तो अब किस तरह से इशू आगे बढ़ता आपको दिख रहा है?
नहीं, देखिए, ये जो पूरा मामला है, सबसे पहले अगर इस केस की बात की जाए तो ये पूरा मामला कोर्ट में चल रहा है और दिल्ली पुलिस लगातार कोर्ट में स्टेटस रिपोर्ट, जो उनकी इन्वेस्टिगेशन की स्टेटस रिपोर्ट है, वो कोर्ट में दाखिल कर रही है। लेकिन कोर्ट के बाहर भी एक अखाड़ा बना हुआ है, जिसमें पहलवान एक तरफ से जो प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, जबकि दूसरी तरफ बृजभूषण सिंह है। बृजभूषण सिंह लगातार ये बयान दे रहे हैं कि वो नार्को टेस्ट कराने को तैयार है और वो सार्वजनिक किया जाए, लेकिन वो चैलेंज कर रहे हैं कि जो रेसलर है वो भी नार्को टेस्ट कराए। रेसलर है, उन्होंने भी नार्को टेस्ट एक्सेप्ट कर लिया, लेकिन उसके साथ कुछ शर्तें रखी। तो इसको लेकर कहीं ना कहीं पॉलिटिक्स भी जमकर हो रही है, जो सियासत है वो भी जमकर हो रही है। केस एक तरफ है जिसमें दिल्ली पुलिस ने एसआईटी बनाई हुई है, पूरी इन्वेस्टिगेशन की जा रही है। जो 7 विक्टिम्स हैं उनके 164 के स्टेटमेंट हो चुके हैं। तो अलग अलग तरीके से दिल्ली पुलिस इस पूरे मामले में इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही है। लेकिन कल जिस तरीके से जो एक्शन हुआ, जब सिक्योरिटी ब्रीच करने की कोशिश की, उसके बाद दिल्ली पुलिस ने एफआईआर दर्ज की है। वहीं साक्षी मलिक और जो रेसलर है वो इस बात पर अड़े हुए हैं कि उनका प्रोटेस्ट जारी रहेगा, लेकिन जंतर मंतर को पूरी तरह से कॉर्डन ऑफ कर दिया गया है, पूरी तरह से घेरेबंदी कर दी गई है। वहां किसी को भी जाने नहीं दिया जा रहा है। और दिल्ली पुलिस ने इंडिया टुडे के कैमरे पर यह साफ कर दिया है, वो जंतर मंतर पर कम से कम अब प्रोटेस्ट करने की इजाजत नहीं देने वाले हैं।
Alright, thank you so much. Arvind Oja gets us the latest on the FIR. The names have been mentioned of the wrestlers. There is a lot of outrage right now on how the wrestlers were treated, and a bigger question: why couldn't the government form a bridge to speak to these wrestlers? There are international level winners we are talking about. Why couldn't there be a communication that could happen for it to not reach what we had seen yesterday? Delhi cops, you are being told, more news coming in, will not allow the wrestlers protest at Jantar Mantar. The cops have said wrestlers must look for an alternate protest site. Cops have told the wrestlers that, and have written in the FIR as well, that the wrestlers tried to march to the parliament without an approval, and this, remember, was no ordinary day. It was the day when the parliament was being inaugurated and the security agencies were already on a high alert. Shreya Chatterjee is on the ground. Shreya, so no permission at all to return to Jantar Mantar, but Jantar Mantar is the only protest site in Delhi right now. That means the wrestlers have nowhere to go.
Well, exactly. So, Pooja, clearly Delhi police has again clarified something that we've been reporting since morning, that the entire Jantar Mantar area is a no-go zone for the wrestlers. That's been clarified. Now, the wrestlers, if at all they want to again restart their protest, they will have to give in fresh application and they will given a designated area where they can protest. Important also is the FIR, Pooja. 12 individuals have been named. Out of that, we have seen that Yasin Malik, Vinesh Fogart and Bajrang Punia, they've all been named in the FIR. And Delhi police, the word that they've mentioned is that they had attempted and told these wrestlers that if they actually go forward and take this protest, this will hamper the national prestige. Very significantly, after the protest ended and the protesters were detained, we had seen Dipendra Pathak, the special commissioner, say that yesterday's act was a Desh Virodhi act. That's why Delhi police is also dealing it with strong hands. An FIR has been registered. They will obviously, take action against those who have been named in the FIR. That was clarified by the Delhi police. But as far as the protest is concerned, Jantar Mantar is now a no-go zone for the wrestlers.
It's not looking good with regard to how the wrestlers have said they'll continue their protest and they feel insulted. The manner in which they were treated. These are international level winners of Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, World Championships, and look how they were manhandled by the cops. Why couldn't the government reach out to them? Its allegations are against BJP Member of Parliament and Federation Chief Brij Bhushan Charan Singh. So this, remember, was a fiery face-off that we are looking at. These are sporting heroes. Vinesh Fogart, Yasin Malik, Bajrang Punia, well-known wrestlers of this country. 12 other protesters with them have now been booked in NFR. The charges are of rioting, obstructing public servant in duty after a scuffle with the personnel. Both of Delhi Police of Rapid Action Force who took them into detention while the parliament was also being inaugurated. So it's a VVIP zone. Protests are not allowed and they were told that. They went ahead with it and were then detained. Now the wrestlers are very clear. They are demanding that the Federation Chief and BJP MP Brij Bhushan Charan Singh be arrested. Till he's arrested, they are going to continue this protest. But now the protest of Jantar Mantar, the site, has also been cleared. They're not being permitted to return. Where do the wrestlers go? The sports fraternity has slammed the way police has handled the situation, asserting this was no way glorious heroes should have been treated. So the opposition has jumped in because they're targeting the government of the centre and the BJP about it.
Police and Vinesh.
कल जिस तरीके की घटना हुई, पुलिस आपको डिटेन करके ले गई, क्या कुछ था पूरा?
जैसा कि हम पहले दिन से बताया था और हमारे खाप पंचायत ने मैसेज दिया था कि हम 28 तारीख को महिला सम्मान महापंचायत करेंगे नए संसद के सामने। तो हमारी जो और महिलाएं थी वो जगह जगह से आ रही थी, उनको तो पहले ही उठा लिया गया पुलिस ने। महिला जो संगठन की मेन नेता थी, किसान संगठन की नेता, सबको डिटेनिंग कर लिया था। और हम जैसे पैदल मार्च हमने शुरू किया तो जंतर मंतर से 10 कदम से ही बैरिकेडिंग स्टार्ट थी। तो हमने बोला कि हमें जाने दो, क्योंकि हमारी सुनवाई वैसे भी नहीं हो रही। तो हम पैदल पैदल चल रहे थे तो उन्होंने आगे से पुशिंग स्टार्ट कर दी कि नहीं आगे जाने देंगे। पुशिंग में फिर ऐसे उन्होंने जबरदस्ती हमें डिटेन करने की कोशिश की। हमने भी थोड़ा सा रोकने की कोशिश की कि हमें मत लेके जाओ, हम शांतिपूर्वक मार्च करेंगे, हमारी बात तो सुनो, हम कोई हिंसा नहीं कर रहे, हम किसी को मार भी नहीं रहे, बस जबरदस्ती घसीटा। उसमें ये थोड़ा बहुत खरोच और ये जो भी आई, फिर उन्होंने डिटेन करके बस में ले गए। वो बुराड़ी वाले उसमें लेके गए 2 घंटे लगातार ड्राइव के बाद। और मैं अकेली उस बस में थी। मैं उनको लगातार रिक्वेस्ट कर रही थी कि मैं घबराई हुई हूँ, मुझे अकेला मत छोड़ो, और जहाँ डिटेन करके लेके जा रहे हो मुझे उनके साथ तो लेके जाओ। उस बस में सिर्फ मैं अकेली महिला थी। तो उन्होंने मेरी बात नहीं सुनी और फिर वहाँ जाके मैं बात कर रही थी घर पे, मेरे पास मेरा फ़ोन था कि मैं यहाँ पर हूँ, मुझे आ जाओ या कोई तो आ जाओ, क्योंकि मैं अकेली हूँ। पीछे से कांस्टेबल ने मेरा फ़ोन पुल कर लिया और फिर उन्होंने मतलब 6 बजे तक बिठाए रखा और फिर कोई फ़ोन नहीं दिया, फिर उन्होंने छोड़ा।
भाई उन्होंने बैरिकेड तोड़ा, जो पुलिस की हिदायत थी उसको नहीं माना, कानून का उल्लंघन किया। और ये जो नए संसद भवन का उद्घाटन समारोह है, इसमें किसी तरह के खलल न पड़े, कोई विघ्न बाधा न हो, ये राष्ट्र विरोधी बात है, ये राष्ट्र विरोधी एक्शन है। तो उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए अगर उन्होंने बैरिकेड तोड़ के और आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश की तो उनको रोक करके यहाँ से हटाया गया है। और बाकी जो ड्यू लीगल प्रोसेस है, जो प्रोसीड्योर है, कानूनी तौर तरीका है, उसको अमल में लाकर हम लोगों ने, दिल्ली पुलिस ने एक्शन किया है और फर्दर अभी हम कर रहे हैं ताकि यहाँ पर पीस एंड ट्रैंक्विलिटी, जो शांति व्यवस्था है, वो कायम रखे।
कौन सा बैरिकेड तोड़ा है? पुलिस प्रशासन जबरदस्ती उन बैरिकेडों को हमारे पैरों में मार रही है। डीसीपी बोल रहे कि देश विरोधी हम। जो देश विरोधी जिन पे टाटा लग रहा है उसका तो आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे। हम देश विरोधी बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। हम देश विरोधी तिरंगा लेके जा रहे हैं। हम तिरंगा लेके जा रहे हैं।
क्या आप पर क्या देश विरोधी का डीसीपी आरोप लगा रहा है?
देखिए हम शांतिपूर्वक जा रहे हैं। हमने कोई हिंसा नहीं की है। और साक्षी मलिक है उसको डिटेन कर दिया है। पद्मश्री भी है। ओलंपिक मेडलिस्ट कितने हमारे देश में, उनको डिटेन कर दिया गया है। किस लिए? वो आपने
अभी कौन यहाँ पर है?
वो बहन बेटियों के लिए न्याय मांग रही, इसलिए उनको डिटेन कर दिया।
हमें से ना तो हमें बताया कि वीडियो बना रहे बेटा, उन्होंने हमने बोला कि सिक्योरिटी के लिए एक वीडियो बनती है, 2 वीडियो बनती है, अभी बनाई है सिक्योरिटी के लिए। लेकिन चोरी से अपने पर्सनल फोन में वीडियो बना के कहीं पे सेंड करना और 7-8 वीडियो लड़कियां किस पोजीशन में बैठी हैं, क्या कर रही हैं, वो बहुत सरासर गलत है। और हमने उसका विरोध भी किया अंदर कि ये गलत है, इसका संविधान भी इजाजत नहीं देता है आपको। और उसके बाद में फिर वो हमारी ऊपर ही चढ़ाई करने लगे कि नहीं ये ऐसे होता है, हमने सिक्योरिटी के लिए बनाया है, तो ये बहुत सरासर गलत है और हमने इसको
जिस तरह से पर्सनल।
Listen in now to the massive outrage that has come from opposition parties. They're lashing out at the government at the centre, highlighting how the police were dragging, detaining India's sporting legends while Prime Minister Modi was busy inaugurating the Naya Parliament.
भाजपा का नारा एक्सपोज हुआ ना इस बात पे, जो बेटियों का साथ देने की बात करते थे, बेटियों के सम्मान की बात करते थे। आपने देख लिया क्या सम्मान किया भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने। ये केवल दिखावटी नारे थे भारतीय जनता पार्टी के, और दिखावटी नारे इसलिए थे कि उन्हें वोट चाहिए था। वोट मिल गया, उसके बाद अपमानित करेंगे आप।
वो कौन लड़की है? हमारा गर्व है, वो देश के लिए सोना जीतता है, वो सोना जैसा और सोने का लड़की है। उसका ऊपर जिस तरह पुलिस एट्रोसिटीज हुआ है, जिस तरह जो लोग प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे ये बुरा काम का, उसके ऊपर जिस तरह ये पुलिस अटैक हुआ है, हम लोग विरोध करते हैं।
News coming in, an Apache attack helicopter of the Indian Air Force has made an emergency landing in Madhya Pradesh today. We're being told that all right now that there are no injuries or more that are being reported, but this emergency landing of the Apache attack chopper of the Indian Air Force made an emergency landing in the Bhind district of Madhya Pradesh. The local residents have rushed in. The chopper for now looks in a fine condition. We are trying to ascertain more details about the pilot. This is an Indian Air Force Apache helicopter and of course has been in the service for many years. What exactly happened, what led to an emergency landing, and as you can see, as is the training of most of these pilots, it has tried to ensure that it landed in a field area, not in a residential locality, and this is to ensure that God forbid if there is a crash, that there are no casualties that are taken place of civilians. And as you can see, it is a matter of seconds that the pilot usually has to make this decision, and for now we are told that this Apache is the AH-64 helicopter of the Indian Air Force. It is a precautionary landing near Bhind. It was a routine operational sortie training that was going on. The good news is all the crew and the aircraft are safe right now. The pilot and the aircraft are in a safe condition, as we can see. Rectification party has also reached the site. The Apache chopper of the Indian Air Force made this landing. But of course, going by the presence of mind of the pilot as well, they're ensuring it landed in a field area. You can see that around that there were no houses. This is to avoid any sort of casualties like we had seen, remember, a few days ago when there had been a crash that had taken place of a fighter jet as well. We can see in these visuals that the pilot and the aircraft appear to be in a fine condition. We'll try and get more details from our reporters on the ground, but this was an Apache chopper making an emergency landing. This is an initial information. Of course, a spectacle for many as well, the local residents, the local villagers rushing to the spot. And as the situation looks all right for now, they are of course here to catch a glimpse of the Apache chopper. I have Hemendra Sharma for the latest on that. Hemendra, what are the details that you're hearing about this emergency landing during a rotational operation training? Hemendra, if you can hear me, what is the initial information that you have about the emergency landing of the Apache attack helicopter that has landed near Bhind, making an emergency landing? All right, we'll try and get that line back on with Hemender. You're looking at the visuals, and it looks like, even though it was an emergency landing, but more of a precautionary landing. Now, whether what sort of a technical issue faced or if there was any other error that was made, we'll try and get more details on that. But the local residents around catching a glimpse of the chopper. This looks like the pilot and the rectification party that is also at the spot nearby. This was a routine operation training that, of course, the pilots are used to. But of course, those who can, trying to catch a glimpse and recording the photographs and videos of the chopper that they've got to be able to see from close quarters. But of course, this is a moment that has been managed pretty well by the pilot on the ground. One, to land in a field, and then to ensure that there are no casualties in this. We'll try and get more details about these visuals coming in. I'm heading into a very short break. Coming up next, Prime Minister Modi's government will be completing 9 years and they are planning about 50 rallies across India. We get you the latest on that after a very short break. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching.
You are watching India Today.
The heart of India's tech industry hosts a tectonic event. The latest updates in technology and innovation. The biggest names in Indian tech under one roof. From AI to 5G. From EVs to data security. Discover how technology is transforming our lives. Catch all the action at the BT Tech Today Congress in Bengaluru on June 2nd, live across the Business Today multiverse.
Kashmir and Himachal are where you see apple orchards in India. This orchard is in Uttar Pradesh's Gazipur. Sunil Kushwaha is growing Himachali apples in his farm during off-season at a time when temperatures rise up to 48 degrees Celsius.
ये जो सेब की वैरायटी है, ये 48 डिग्री के टेम्परेचर में भी सर्वाइव कर लेता है और इसमें अहम योगदान एक हिमाचल प्रदेश के बहुत ही बहुचर्चित साइंटिस्ट हैं, वैज्ञानिक हैं, हरमन शर्मा जी का। हरमन शर्मा जी ने इजाद किया, एक वैरायटी निकाली अपने नाम से ही, हरमन डबल।
there enough understanding of lifestyle diseases? That's the big question.
The only news channel to focus on what matters the most, and that is your health. India's news TV industry's only health show. India Today's relentless effort to bring to you the best reports and the best medical and wellness experts on health, lifestyle, wellness and more. Watch Health 360 with Sneha Mordani at these times only on India Today.
You are watching India Today.
Watching India Today, I'm Nabila Jamal. BJP now planning a nationwide outreach as Prime Minister Modi's government all set to complete 9 years in power. To mark that occasion, the Bharatiya Janata Party has now decided to start a mass outreach campaign across India. Chief ministers of the BJP-ruled states, along with union ministers, will be holding press conferences on the achievements of the Modi government over the last 9 years in non-BJP governed states. BJP is now planning to hold around at least 50 rallies all across India between 30th of May and June 30th, of which Prime Minister will be leading the charge and address half a dozen rallies. That's what's on the cards. The Reach Out campaign will be inaugurated by on the May 31st through a mega rally by Prime Minister himself in Rajasthan's Ajmer. Meanwhile, launching a direct attack on Prime Minister Modi's government, Congress is now all set to hold at least 35 press conferences across India starting Monday in order to prove that all the promises that were made by Prime Minister Modi and the BJP were truly fictional. Recently, Congress also released a document attacking the centre titled 9 Saal 9 Sawal.
So India is now a country which believes in its own strength. Even if it believed earlier, there was no recognition for it. So there can immediately be voices from opposition parties saying, oh, what, 2014 only onwards that you have belief in yourself? No. Belief and recognition. I appeal to you all at this juncture. The data is there before you. You can always test it. But unless we understand that leadership matters.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री बने 9 साल बाद आज कांग्रेस पार्टी प्रधानमंत्री जी से 9 सवाल पूछ रहे हैं। ये सवाल राहुल गांधी जी ने भारत जोड़ो यात्रा के समय पहले उठाया था। हम चाहते हैं कि इन 9 सवालों पर प्रधानमंत्री अपनी चुप्पी तोड़े।
First they let them give 15 lakh rupees to all the account. When BJP had assured 1 lakh rupees loan to be waived off. First they keep up their word. We know how to keep up a word. What opposition has. First let them do their job. People has given us a mandate. We will honor our mandate.
मोदी जी की सरकार से 9 सवाल पूछे जाएंगे। वो सवाल हमारे सवाल नहीं है, वो देश की जनता के सवाल हैं जो हम उन प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस के माध्यम से पूछना चाहते हैं। मोदी जी, आप सवाल पूछने की बजाय विपक्ष को पर सवाल पूछने के बजाय आप सवालों का जवाब दीजिए। पिछले 9 साल में जो आपने वायदे किए थे वो पूरे क्यों नहीं हुए?
प्राइम मिनिस्टर, आपसे बड़ा कोई एक्टर नहीं है। आप जो 9 साल से पिक्चर बना रहे हैं ना, वो सब लोग देख के खाली खुश हो रहे, मगर जब ये पिक्चर खत्म होगी तब इस देश के लोगों को ख्याल आएगा, अरे ये पिक्चर थी, रियलिटी नहीं थी।
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Aishwarya Paliwal joining us live for a little more. Aishwarya, we're looking at 9 Sawal 9 Saal Ke. This is the Congress's campaign as Prime Minister Modi all set to hold press conferences. His party men will be announcing in different states BJP, non-BJP ruled states and the kind of achievements of the BJP government in the last 9 years. And this is in the run-up to 2024. Congress stepping up their campaign. Tell us a little more on the claims and the counter-claims made.
Well, the claims at the moment, Nabila, are obviously the work that the Prime Minister and the Bharatiya Janata Party has done over the past 9 years. And that's the reason why we are seeing all the top leaders, be it the Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, be it the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, all of them have been spread across the country, making sure that they tell the people the work that has been done by the BJP. On the other side is the Congress party, which is now announcing that they will also go to various cities and they will be asking 9 questions on the 9 years of government of the BJP. So it's a full-fledged war. And as you rightly pointed out, Nabila, this is the semi-final before the big final that will take place in the year 2024.
All right, thank you very much for joining us on that, Aishwarya. Well, this is a grand event, undoubtedly, for Prime Minister. It's 9 years in power, and they're, of course, at this point, listing out all those achievements by the Modi government, with the Congress giving replies saying all the claims made by the BJP are all fictitious. We're going to see that in the run-up to 2024, enough and more. Now, cutting across to all that happening in Karnataka, as the cabinet expansion has just about taken place, we're seeing that a couple of portfolios that have been given, allotted to the top faces in the state. I'm going to take you through a list, a few of them for that. In fact, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah gets to keep the finance ministry, as was expected. And we believe that DK Shivkumar was also vying the same post. But it appears at this point, Siddaramaiah gets to keep the finance ministry, considering that he's presented 13 budgets for the state of Karnataka. Even last time, 2013, when he became the chief minister of the state, he was given the finance portfolio, and he is the one retaining it this time. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, as he keeps the finance portfolio, DK Shivkumar gets major and medium irrigation and Bengaluru city development. Notably, G. Parmeshwara has got home department. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has kept intelligence with himself. H.K. Patil, on the other hand, gets law and parliamentary affairs, legislation and tourism. The health and family welfare department has been given to Dinesh Gundu Rao. In fact, these are portfolios that were allotted to those ministers. In fact, many of those ministers, a lot of them were pitching for plum portfolios. It appears that most of them have been kept by top leaders like Siddaramaiah, DK Shivkumar, H.K. Patil. Of course, G. Parmeshwara getting home ministry is also looked at as a very important position and a post, considering there was a lot of talk that he, being Dalit, was not honoured with a post of deputy chief minister. He lost out on that. Clearly, the Congress High Command pleasing G. Parmeshwara with a plum portfolio like home. But here we are seeing Siddaramaiah retaining the finance ministry as much as DK would have wanted it. DK Shivkumar, though, given major and medium irrigation and Bengaluru city development, both again looked at as plum portfolios. There's been a lot of talk about power sharing, a formula between the two. We're looking at DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, both of them now coming together as one unit, at least presenting themselves as a united house and to ensure good governance. They've promised that, but how far will they be able to achieve that in the long run? That remains to be seen. In 2.5 years, will there be a power shift? Again, we've got to wait and watch. All right, cutting across now to Manipur, that's now on the edge after fresh spate of ethnic violence ahead of Amit Shah's visit there to the violence-hit Manipur. Kuki terrorists allegedly carrying weapons set many houses ablaze in Serau and Sugunu area. Angry mobs there stormed into a BJP MLA K. Raghumani's home. Amit Shah will be leaving for Manipur today for a 3-day tour. He will be meeting with local communities there and party cadres, also hold a meet with Security Department's top officials over the recent spate of violence. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has said that around 40 militants have been killed by security forces during retaliatory fire and defensive operations. Meanwhile, a Congress delegation will also be meeting with President Draupadi Murmu in relation to the Manipur violence.
के अंदर आता है, हट जाइए, आपका जुरिडिक्शन नहीं है, हटो यहाँ से, हम लोग खुद देख लेगा, कुकी बस्ती जिते
Mr. Amit Jha ji is coming to Manipur for the 3 days. So we request and appeal to him to take the necessary steps and action as early as possible in his journey, because this is not a time to negotiate and this is not a time to talk about the peace, because if this action is not taken to the earliest, the Manipur will vanish.
सर मणिपुर सिचुएशन के लिए क्या ब्रीफ करने वाले हैं सर?
उसके लिए हम मंगलवार के दिन प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया से टाइम पूछे हैं। हम जाकर डेलीगेशन में जाकर उनसे मिलेंगे और मिलकर उनसे ये सारी चीजें बताएंगे।
All right, that's Mallikarjun Kharge, who is all set to be meeting with President Draupadi Murmu on the Manipur violence. Manipur has been burning months now, and you have Home Minister Amit Shah also taking a quick look at the violence-hit state. Kuki terrorists allegedly carrying weapons have set many houses and cars ablaze in Serao and Sanguru areas. These angry mobs also barged into a BJP MLA's home, Raghumani's house, and those are the visuals that you see right in the center of your screens. Raghumani's home vandalized as miscreants there trash all the belongings in that house there, drag it out of the home in a statement that they are hoping to make. All right, now let's take a quick look at all the national stories that's making headlines. YS Sharmila, president of YSR Telangana Party, has met with Karnataka's newly inducted Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar in Bengaluru at Shivkumar's party office. He branded it only a courtesy meet, saying Sharmila is his sister. She's come by to congratulate his victory. All right, a lot more news coming up on the other side. I'm going to slip into a short break and be right back. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
Quality today. In Delhi, 61. In Mumbai, 48. In Kolkata, 108. In Bengaluru, 38. In Chennai, 109. In Hyderabad, 108.
Watching India Today.
All right, now days after the new Sansad launch, Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge has slammed the Modi government, reiterates that President Murmu has been insulted. That's the attack that Congress makes even till today, right after the Parliament inauguration as well by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. You have the opposition stepping up their attack on the BJP, accusing insult to President Draupadi Murmu. Listen in.
जो उनको इनॉग्रेट करना था उन्होंने किया है, लेकिन देश के संविधान के अनुसार सबसे पार्लियामेंट के जो पूरा जिनके पास अथॉरिटी रहती है उनके हाथ से ये कराना था, ये हमारी इच्छा थी और हमने ये कहा भी, लेकिन वो नहीं चाहते थे कि ये प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया से ना फाउंडेशन रखा जाए ना उसका इनॉग्रेशन कराया जाए.
All right, that's Mallikarjun Kharge of the Congress. But we saw how the parliament was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi. Clearly, the inauguration of the new parliament there really marked how India has now moved over from the colonial era and embraced a parliament structure that's built by Indians in India. Dignitaries included diplomats of several countries, opposition leaders attending that inaugural ceremony there. A bunch of them, not all, but yet was quite a grand one. Let's have a quick look.
Futuristic, state-of-the-art, apt for new India's new dreams. The brand new parliament unveiled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Brainchild of Prime Minister Modi, the new Sansad was hailed by him as a reflection of the aspiration of new India and a testament to the dawn of a self-reliant nation.
ये नया भवन आत्मनिर्भर भारत के सूर्योदय का साक्षी बनेगा. ये नया भवन विकसित भारत के संकल्पों की सिद्धि होते हुए देखेगा.
सभी आदियों को साष्टांग नमस्कार कर रहे हैं.
Early on Sunday morning, the Prime Minister held a consecration ritual for the Sengol inside the new parliament and installed it near the Speaker's table inside the new Lok Sabha.
महान चोल साम्राज्य में सेंगोल को कर्तव्य पथ का, सेवा पथ का, राष्ट्र पथ का प्रतीक माना जाता था.
The historic event was attended by former President Ramnath Kovind, Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy, Yogi Adityanath, Eknath Shinde and nephew Rio, apart from foreign envoys, parliamentarians and people from different walks of life. Modi said, as India surges ahead, the new parliament will also contribute to the world's progress.
ये सिर्फ एक भवन नहीं है, ये 140 करोड़ भारतवासियों की आकांक्षाओं और सपनों का प्रतिबिंब है. ये विश्व को भारत के दृढ़ संकल्प का संदेश देता हमारे लोकतंत्र का मंदिर है.
राष्ट्रपति भारत गणतंत्र संदेश.
Rajya Sabha Deputy Chairman Harivansh read out messages from President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar.
स्वर्णाक्षरों में दर्ज रहेगा. मेरी हार्दिक शुभकामना है कि नवनिर्मित संसद भवन भारतीय लोकतंत्र की महान परंपराओं और आदर्शों के अनुरूप नए प्रतिमान स्थापित करे.
The Congress and 19 opposition parties boycotted the unveiling of the parliament. The opposition alleged Modi unveiling the parliament is an insult to the president. BJP accuses the opposition bloc of being blinded by hate against Modi. Despite the political war, the unveiling of the new parliament comes as the biggest day of Indian democracy. With Rahul Gautam and Maushmi Singh in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, now Prime Minister Narendra Modi installed the historic Sengol near the Lok Sabha Speaker's chair in the new Parliament building on Sunday. As many as 21 Dharmapuram Adhinam seers all the way from Chennai flew down for this grand procession to be carrying the Sengol to right next to the chair of the Speaker in the Lok Sabha, with Prime Minister Modi itself carrying it. It was quite a grand ceremony at that. Let's have a quick look at what happened.
नमो नमः शंकर पार्वतीभ्यां गंगा तरंग रमणीय जटाकलापं गौरी निरंतर विभूषित वामभागं.
The holy Sengol finding its pride of place in Lok Sabha. With Vedic chants, puja and havan, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi participating himself.
भोलाभं भूमिपुत्रः सकलगुणयुतां वाग्विभूतिं च सौम्यः सौभाग्यं देवमन्त्रे रिपुभयशमनं भार्गवः शौर्यमार्गिः.
On Sunday, India witnessed the historic return of the Sengol to the seat of power, this time Lok Sabha. Dressed in traditional attire, Prime Minister Narendra Modi performed the Ganpati Havan along with Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla ahead of the inauguration of the new Parliament building. Prime Minister Narendra Modi then did a Sashtang Dandavat, prostrated himself before the Sengol, which symbolized transfer of power from the British to India. Priests of Shaivite mutts, Adhinams from Tamil Nadu, the original owners of the Sengol, presented the Dharma Dand to Prime Minister Narendra Modi after the rituals.
नमो नमः शंकर पार्वतीभ्यां गंगा तरंग रमणीय जटाकलापं गौरी निरंतर विभूषित वामभागं.
The 5 feet long, 2-inch wide spectre was later installed near the Lok Sabha Speaker's chair in the new Parliament House by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Prime Minister also sought the blessings of the 21 Adhinams from Tamil Nadu who presented him the Sengol.
राजा जी और आदिनम के संतों के मार्गदर्शन में यही सेंगोल सत्ता के हस्तांतरण का प्रतीक बना था.
The Prime Minister took a jibe at those who neglected the Sengol after using it for the freedom ritual in 1947, referring to the Sengol's relegation as Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's golden walking stick at the Anand Bhavan Museum at Prayagraj.
ये हमारा सौभाग्य है कि इस पवित्र सेंगोल को हम उसकी गरिमा लौटा सके हैं, उसकी मान मर्यादा लौटा सके हैं.
The Congress, meanwhile, rubbished the use of Sengol as a symbol of transfer of power, calling the claim bogus.
BJP's issues are that they are running from the real issues and they want a diversion. After the Karnataka defeat, they wanted a diversion and therefore they are mingling with all this kind of dates on a one day and making it into a different tune they want.
Samajwadi Party attacked the government, slamming the invite to the Tamil Nadu Adhinam seers, calling it pampering of radical Brahmin sects from Tamil Nadu.
भाजपा की सरकार लोकतांत्रिक तरीके से चुनी गई,
वर्तमान में भारत लोकतांत्रिक गणराज्य है। लोकतंत्र में राजतंत्र के प्रतीक का आवश्यकता कहां से आ गई? इसका मतलब है भारतीय जनता पार्टी का विश्वास लोकतंत्र में नहीं है, राजतंत्र में है। इसीलिए राजतंत्र के प्रतीक राजदंड सेंगोल को खोज करके लाई है।
देखिए, स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य जी जब से चुनाव हारे हैं तब से आप देख रहे हैं कि इस तरह के कई तरह के इस तरह से गलत बयान, कभी रामायण पर, कभी श्री राम पर, मैंने इस तरह के बयान देते रहते हैं। वो चुनाव हारने के बाद जो है उनका दिमाग असंतुलित हो चुका है। इस
The Sengol will now symbolize justice, righteousness and ethical governance, standing silently to witness the new parliament shaping India's future. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. You could log on to indiatoday.in. You could also download our app. Stay with us. I'm going to come back with the top headlines.
You are watching India Today.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 37 and minimum 24 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 31 and minimum 28 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 40 and minimum 27 degrees. Bengaluru, maximum 34 and minimum 22 degrees. Chennai, maximum 34 and minimum 29 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 37 and minimum 27 degrees.
Understanding of lifestyle diseases? That's the big question.
The only news channel to focus on what matters the most, and that is your health. India's news TV industry's only health show. India Today's relentless effort to bring to you the best reports and the best medical and wellness experts on health, lifestyle, wellness and more. Watch Health 360 with Sneha Mordani at these times, only on India Today.
So sorry.
powered by
The world comes together at Sharda University.
A very good afternoon. You're watching India Today. I'm Nabila Jamal. Let me take you through the top news as wrestlers who are protesting at Jantar Mantar headed towards the parliament right on the day of the parliament inauguration, slapped with FIRs for manhandling the police. I'm going to take you through those key updates. The headlines first. Key details of FIR against wrestlers has now been accessed. FIR says cops alerted that the stir will really affect national prestige, reveals wrestlers broke barricades, obstructed cops, and therefore sections of the FIR slapped on them. Prime Minister Modi government to complete 9 years. Over 50 rallies have been planned across India. 12 BJP bigwigs to woo voters in the states. Congress assures mega 2024 win against Prime Minister Modi. Ahead of Home Minister Amit Shah's visit, fresh violence has erupted in Manipur. Chief Minister Biren Singh says 40 terrorists killed by security forces. India's landmark satellite launch. ISRO launches second generation navigation satellite launch to boost Indian GPS system.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन GSLV F12 का
I'm hearing on NIA plea for death penalty for Yasin. NIA in court claims Yasin behind killing of Air Force official, says Yasin coordinated stone pelting as well. All right, now Delhi Congress unit opposes helping out Arvind Kejriwal here. A mega twist to Kejriwal's ordinance dangal. Delhi Congress to Rahul, no backing for AAP. Setback to Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the ordinance dangal as the Delhi Congress unit now in a huddle with Rahul and Mallikarjun Kharge. Kejriwal sought Congress's support in the Rajya Sabha against the ordinance. And you have the Congress in Delhi now refusing to come to aid the Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, this was expected. The Congress has been opposing the AAP on several levels. It is a party that's been, in fact, the Congress in Delhi itself has been relegated to nearly nothing with the rise of the Aam Aadmi Party, a three-time victory. The Congress now refusing to support Aam Aadmi Party while it seeks support in the Rajya Sabha against the ordinance. Again, some of the powers taken away by the centre, the Delhi government looking for opposition party support, and the Delhi Congress, very crucial for, and so the AAP, Kejriwal reached out to the Congress asking for some kind of backing in the Rajya Sabha, but we believe the Delhi Congress unit now have met with Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge, both denying support in the ordinance ordeal. Rahul Gautam, who's joining us live from Delhi for a little more on that. Rahul, tell us more. We believe that Aam Aadmi Party has reached out to Rahul Gandhi or to the Congress unit of Delhi, specifically asking for support in the Rajya Sabha when it comes to the ordinance, the powers that have been taken away by the centre of the Delhi government. AAP looking for opposition support, while many other parties now in favour of AAP. You have the main Congress party itself, who's been pushed to margins in the state of Delhi by the Aam Aadmi Party, refusing to come to aid.
Well, this is the same argument that was given by Delhi leaders that Aam Aadmi Party has grown at the expense of Congress Party. Therefore, we should not have any sort of understanding or alliance with Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, on the decision, on central's ordinance against the Delhi government. It was also conveyed to the High Command that either the party should remain silent or should not be seen standing with Arvind Kejriwal because of the fact that Congress party is fighting Aam Aadmi Party in many states, and in fact many states have been snatched by Aam Aadmi Party from Congress party. And as we speak, Navjot Singh Sidhu, a very senior leader from Punjab Congress, is now speaking with media. You can expect that he will be putting on record that how it has been decided by 2 state units and have been conveyed now to High Command. That includes Rahul Gandhi, that Congress party should not have any sort of understanding with Aam Aadmi Party. In fact, Mr. Ajay Makan, we've been informed that not just opposed Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, in fact he said that we should not trust him given the fact that he has betrayed us on several counts. So obviously you can expect now that it comes as a major jolt as far as opposition unity is concerned, because Aam Aadmi Party was trying to garner support on this issue recently. Mr. Kejriwal had met Sharad Pawar, Uddhav Thackeray and KCR, Mamata Banerjee, and he was trying to garner more and more support on the floor of the houses. But it seems that Congress party is unlikely to support Aam Aadmi Party on the issue of centre's ordinance that has been brought in as far as national capital is concerned.
Rahul, tell us a little more on the other opposition parties who have now backed the Aam Aadmi Party. Give us a sense on who are on board with the AAP.
Well, there are several parties who have already pledged support to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. For example, Mamata Banerjee has said that she is going to, oppose this.
लोगों का वेलफेयर कर सकती है, लेकिन आज मैं डंके की चोट पे
Navjot Singh Sidhu there is just speaking to the media. I'm going to cut across to that reaction there. But Rahul Gautam, who joins us as the Delhi Congress unit, now opposing to help Arvind Kejriwal when it comes to the ordinance matter. AAP has been slamming the Congress, calling out the Congress, claiming that the Congress plays politics of convenience. On one hand, Congress calling for opposition unity. Here, Delhi government desperate to receive some kind of opposition backing in the Rajya Sabha when it comes to the ordinance, and they've been refused. Navjot Singh Sidhu of the Congress speaking. Listen in.
जब वो स्नैच होता है और इतिहास रचा जाता है कि पॉस्को में एक माइनर कंप्लेंट पे किसी की कस्टोडियल इंटरोगेशन नहीं होती, and he is considered above the law, तो फिर आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को डिवैल्यू कर रहे हैं। उसके साथ बड़ा मुद्दा यह भी है कि आप सिर्फ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को डिवैल्यू नहीं कर रहे, आप इस देश के जो मार्गदर्शी रहा है फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर को धीरे धीरे करके तहस नहस कर रहे हैं। स्टेटों के स्टेट लिस्ट पे आप लेजिस्लेट कर रहे हैं। काले कानून इसका प्रमाण है कि आपने कानूनी अधिकार भी छीन लिए और उनसे जिन्हें हम दाता के नाम से, अन्नदाता के नाम से जानते हैं। देखिए, जब आप गवर्नर्स के द्वारा इलेक्टेड सरकारों को डिक्टेट देते हैं तो वो असंवैधानिक है। And I protest strongly against all that. I stand with the Constitution of India. और हर बंदे को पार्टियों से ऊपर उठ के अपने देश के साथ, अपने स्टेट के साथ खड़ा रहना चाहिए भाई। जब सच की आवाज दबाई जाए, जब सिर्फ एक पक्ष की सुने, तो फिर जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की वैल्यूज से ताकत ड्रॉ करती हैं और लोगों की भलाई के लिए।
All right, I'm cutting back to Rahul Gautam on that. Navjot Singh Sidhu speaking a tad bit on how the AAP has sidelined the Congress party in Delhi. Allegations are that Aam Aadmi Party does not let the Congress workers work in the state. To which the AAP has also responded, saying this is the inefficiency of the Congress which is being blamed on as Congress playing politics of convenience. Sheila Dikshit had passed a similar resolution in the parliament back in 2002, calling out the then central government, claiming that powers were taken away arbitrarily. What's different from then to now? This is just politics of convenience.
Well, it seems that Congress party is looking this issue in two different ways. On one hand, they're seeing it from political lens, saying that, if they're going to go along with Aam Aadmi Party, it is going to be detrimental for the interest of the party, given the fact that party, is completely wiped out. It has 0 MLAs, all because of Aam Aadmi Party, which has...
All right, Rahul, apologies, but seems to be a glitch in your audio. I'm going to try and patch you on that. We're going to continue tracking the story. For now, we hear that the Congress unit in Delhi have reached out to Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, and they're formalizing this this decision that they do not want to support Aam Aadmi Party in the parliament, in the Rajya Sabha, because they claim the AAP has been unjust to them, not allowed them to work in the state of Delhi for the last 15 years that they've been in power. All right, now meanwhile, days after fiery wrestlers' Delhi police face-off in the national capital, sporting heroes Vinesh Phogat, Yasin Malik, Bajrang Punia, along with 12 other protesters, have now been booked by the Delhi police under various sections of the IPC. They've been booked for rioting, obstructing public servants, gathering in large numbers, despite Section 144 being imposed. FIR mentions Delhi police have alerted that their protest would hamper the national prestige, and considering it was the day of the parliament inauguration, we believe that the police had alerted that this protest by these wrestlers, many of them Olympians there, would really tarnish the image of the country. It would really hurt national prestige. And yet the wrestlers continued with their protest, and the police claimed that they were heckled. Some of the police were manhandled. A few of them were injured in duty. Wrestlers have now been demanding WFI chief and BJP MP Brij Bhushan's arrest with immediate effect. They say that no matter what, they will continue with their protest. Protest site at the Jantar Mantar has all been cleared out ever since. Wrestlers have been moved out of that protest site yesterday, right after they were detained, and FIR were filed on many of those wrestlers. That protest site where they have been protesting for months now has been fully cleared out. Sports fraternity has now slammed the way the police have really handled this situation, asserting that this isn't the way glorious heroes should be treated.
इनके खिलाफ जो भी लीगल एक्शन होना है वह नई दिल्ली डिस्ट्रिक्ट ले रही है, क्योंकि ये हमारे लिए बहुत गलत है कि वो वाला दिन और वो वाला समय जब हमारी सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज हमारे नए पार्लियामेंट के उद्घाटन में बिजी थी, तब इन्होंने ये सब करने की कोशिश की है, जिसकी उनको कोई परमिशन नहीं थी।
हम जैसे पैदल मार्च हमने शुरू किया तो जंतर मंतर से 10 कदम से ही बैरिकेडिंग स्टार्ट थी, तो हमने बोला कि हमें जाने दो, क्योंकि हमारी सुनवाई वैसे भी नहीं हो रही। तो हम पैदल चल रहे थे, तो उन्होंने आगे से पुशिंग स्टार्ट कर दी कि नहीं आगे जाने देंगे। पुशिंग में फिर ऐसे ही उन्होंने जबरदस्ती हमें डिटेन करने की कोशिश की। हमने भी थोड़ा सा रोकने की कोशिश की कि हमें मत लेके जाओ, हम शांतिपूर्वक मार्च करेंगे, हमारी बात तो सुनो, हम कोई हिंसा नहीं कर रहे, हम किसी को मार भी नहीं रहे, बस जबरदस्ती घसीटा। उसमें ये थोड़ा बहुत खरोच और ये जो भी आई, फिर उन्होंने डिटेन करके बस में ले गए, वो बुराड़ी वाले उसमें लेके गए 2 घंटे लगातार ड्राइव के बाद, और मैं अकेली उस बस में थी। मैं उनको लगातार रिक्वेस्ट कर रही थी कि मैं घबराई हुई हूँ, मुझे अकेला मत छोड़ो, और जहाँ डिटेन करके लेके जा रहे हो मुझे उनके साथ तो लेके जाओ। उस बस में सिर्फ मैं अकेली महिला थी, तो उन्होंने मेरी बात नहीं सुनी, और फिर वहाँ जाके मैं बात कर रही थी घर पे, मेरे पास मेरा फ़ोन था कि मैं यहाँ पर हूँ, मुझे आ जाओ या कोई तो आ जाओ, क्योंकि मैं अकेली हूँ। पीछे से कांस्टेबल ने मेरा फ़ोन पुल कर लिया, और फिर उन्होंने मतलब 6 बजे तक बिठाए रखा, और फिर कोई फ़ोन नहीं दिया, फिर उन्होंने छोड़ा।
भाई उन्होंने बैरिकेड तोड़ा, जो पुलिस की हिदायत थी उसको नहीं माना, कानून का उल्लंघन किया, और ये जो नए संसद भवन का उद्घाटन समारोह है इसमें किसी तरह की खलल न पड़े, कोई विघ्न बाधा न हो, ये राष्ट्र विरोधी बात है, ये राष्ट्र विरोधी एक्शन है। तो उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए अगर उन्होंने बैरिकेड तोड़ के और आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश की तो उनको रोक करके यहाँ से हटाया गया है, और बाकी जो ड्यू लीगल प्रोसेस है, जो प्रोसीड्योर है, कानूनी तौर तरीका है, उसको अमल में लाकर हम लोगों ने, दिल्ली पुलिस ने एक्शन किया है और फर्दर अभी हम कर रहे हैं ताकि यहाँ पर पीस एंड ट्रैंक्विलिटी, जो शांति व्यवस्था है, वो कायम रखे।
कौन सा बैरिकेड तोड़ा है? पुलिस प्रशासन जबरदस्ती उन बैरिकेडों को हमारे पैरों में मार रही है। डीसीपी बोल रहे कि देश विरोधी हम, जो देश विरोधी जिन पे टाटा लग रहा है उसका तो आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे। हम देश विरोधी बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। हम देश विरोधी तिरंगा लेके जा रहे हैं। हम तिरंगा लेके जा रहे हैं।
क्या आप पर क्या देश विरोधी का डीसीपी आरोप लगा रहा है?
देखिए, हम शांतिपूर्वक जा रहे हैं, हमने कोई हिंसा नहीं की है। और यासिन मलिक है, उसको डिटेन कर दिया है। पद्मश्री भी है, ओलंपिक मेडलिस्ट कितने हमारे देश में, उनको डिटेन कर दिया गया है। किस लिए? वो अपने
कौन यहाँ पर है?
वो बहन बेटियों के लिए न्याय मांग रही, इसलिए उनको डिटेन कर दिया।
All right, I'm going to cut across to Shreya joining us, who's been tracking those developments. Shreya, what a tragedy. You have many of those wrestlers, Olympians, national pride, for months have been seated in protest. We are looking at FIRs that have now been filed against them under various sections, saying that their protest hurt national prestige. Give us a little more under what really are the allegations against these protesters, and more importantly, they've been protesting at the Jantar Mantar. The site has been cleared out. Will they now go back to the same site of protest as they vow to continue the protest unless Brij Bhushan is arrested?
Well, you know, Nabila, first and foremost, the sections that's been levied against these wrestlers. There are at least 7 such sections, which includes the kind of rioting, causing disobedience to the public servants on duty and damaging public property. So these are some of these sections that are being slapped against the wrestlers. What we clearly do know that the Delhi police is cordoned off Jantar Mantar. No one can get in the area without a particular pass or a proof that they reside in that region. So clearly for Jantar Mantar, we can say it's become a no-go zone for the wrestlers. As per sources, the wrestlers are also now trying to understand that what could be the future course of action. As of now, they do want to recuperate and again join a protest, but where is something that we need clarity on. So far as Delhi police is concerned, they have given a clear message that Jantar Mantar won't be allowed. If the wrestlers want to protest, they'll have to give a permission to the Delhi police that they want to go in for a sit-in protest, and simultaneously they will be given a separate designated area where they could continue the process. So this is something that has transpired after yesterday's incident, because Delhi police felt that yesterday's action of the wrestlers to move forward to the parliament has damaged national prestige, and that's why such an action was taken in by the Delhi police. There are reactions coming in from the opposition who have slammed this sort of an action, but if we talk about the protest per se, we're yet to get a clarity whether at all the wrestlers will be able to restart their protest.
You know, stay with us, Shreya. Unfortunately, it's only looked one way, national prestige being hurt because of the protest. But here you have a bunch of the Olympians, those who brought national pride to the country, been protesting for months now, and yet they seem to be far away from finding justice. I'm going to cut across to all the political reactions coming in on the same.
भाजपा का नारा एक्सपोज हुआ ना इस बात पे, जो बेटियों का साथ देने की बात करते थे, बेटियों के सम्मान की बात करते थे, आपने देख लिया क्या सम्मान किया भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने। ये केवल दिखावटी नारे थे भारतीय जनता पार्टी के, और दिखावटी नारे इसलिए थे कि उन्हें वोट चाहिए था। वोट मिल गया, उसके बाद अपमानित करेंगे आप।
वो कौन लड़की है? हमारा गर्व है, वो देश के लिए सोना जीतता है, वो सोना जैसा और सोने का लड़की है। उसका ऊपर जिस तरह पुलिस एट्रोसिटीज हुआ है, जिस तरह जो लोग प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे ये बुरा काम का, उसके ऊपर जिस तरह ये पुलिस अटैक हुआ है, हम लोग विरोध करते हैं।
After months on the roads protesting, wrestlers have clashed with the cops at Delhi's Jantar Mantar just last evening. This came after protesters insisted that they wanted to move away from their designated protest site in Jantar Mantar and walk towards the newly inaugurated parliament, where all focus and eyes were on Prime Minister Modi inaugurating the newly built swanky parliament building. These wrestlers moved towards that parliament building only to make their voices heard. Several of those wrestlers then clashed with the police who were deployed in numbers. They had ensured strict security. Section 144 was also imposed only to avoid any such kind of protests that could happen around the parliament building. Several wrestlers, including Bajrang Punia, Yasin Malik, were all detained. Heavy police deployed at the Delhi borders as well to stop many more protesters from entering the national capital. Along those border areas, there were chaos, and the police sent out a message to these protesters, doing what they were, would only hurt national prestige. And yet, protesters insisted on heading towards the parliament, and that's when they were detained. Several sections of the IPC have been slapped on them.
Some of India's top wrestlers pinned, dragged and detained. These were the scenes that unfolded at Delhi's Jantar Mantar. Protesting Vinesh Fogart, Bajrang Punia and other protesters were detained as they were marching towards the new parliament from their site of protest at Jantar Mantar. Olympic medalist Yasin Malik accused the police of manhandling her.
हम सोचे शांतिपूर्वक जाएंगे पर शांतिपूर्वक जाके आगे से धकाना शुरू कर दिया कि नहीं आओगे, गिरा दिया गया, मेरे सारे कपड़े पाड़ लिए, बहुत गंदा व्यवहार करा है। हम कोई भी इंसान नहीं करते, बिल्कुल चुपचाप जाने लग रहे थे आगे।
Bajrang Punia lashed out at the government, saying the authorities didn't even respect a Padma Shri awardee.
साक्षी को उठा लिया है पुलिस प्रशासन ने, डिटेन कर लिया साक्षी को। दिनेश आप भी तो कुछ बोलिए, और ऊपर से उसको पद्म श्री भी दे रखा है। पद्म श्री की गरिमा नहीं रखी लोगों ने। जो मेडल मिले हैं, जो मेडल मिले, जो अवार्ड मिले, उनकी गरिमा नहीं रखी।
जो पूरा देश बनाएगा आगे का प्लान, क्योंकि जिनकी गिरफ्तारी होनी चाहिए थी उनकी नहीं है, और रिपोर्ट करता हूँ कि गिरफ्तारी है।
यहाँ पर जो भी टेंट लगा था, जो भी बंदोबस्त किया गया था, जहां पर पिछले एक महीने से ये पहलवान बैठकर रोज धरना प्रदर्शन करते थे, अपनी बातों को कहने की कोशिश करते थे, दिल्ली पुलिस की तरफ से उस पूरी जगह को खाली कर दिया गया है। जो भी टेंट था, सामान था, उन सभी सामानों को, टेंट को एक ट्रक में रखकर यहां से विदा कर दिया है, पूरी जगह को खाली कर दिया है।
Khap Panchayat leaders backed wrestlers calling for a women's Mahapanchayat outside the new parliament. They were, however, stopped by cops. Heavy police force was deployed on all the borders of national capital to stop what the police called unsocial elements.
जो इनको डायरेक्शंस जो है फोर्स को ये है कि जो पब्लिक है उसको इनकन्वीनियंस नहीं होना चाहिए, ट्रैफिक जो है वो स्मूथ रहना चाहिए, लेकिन बस एक ही चीज़ इंश्योर करनी है कि जो अनसोशल एलिमेंट्स हैं, जो अनरूली एलिमेंट्स हैं जो आइडेंटिफाई कर रखे हैं, वो जो है बॉर्डर्स क्रॉस करके दिल्ली ना पहुंच पाए।
Supporting the wrestlers, the ruling Aam Aadmi Party refused the request of the Delhi police to convert MCD school into a temporary jail. Congress too backed the wrestlers, slamming the Modi government. The Grand Old Party demanded action against Wrestling Federation chief.
बेटियों का बलात्कारी उस सदन में मौजूद था, उसका सम्मान हो रहा था, और इस देश की बेटियों के ऊपर पुलिस टूट पड़ी थी। इनके छातियों पे मेडल रहता है, इनकी पीठ से वो पटकनी देती हैं, उन छातियों पर आज बूट थे, पीठ पर डंडे थे, और पुलिस उनको ऐसे खींच रही थी कि कोई वो दुर्दांत आतंकवादी हो।
It has been over a month since a group of wrestlers started their protest against the BJP MP and Wrestling Federation chief Brij Bhushan Saran Singh. With Nitin Srivastav and Shreya Chatterjee, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, now news tightens around Kashmiri separatist Yasin Malik. The Delhi High Court now is hearing a plea by NIA seeking death penalty for Malik, reiterating how he was the catalyst of deadly 26/11 attacks and has a hand even behind coordinating the stone pelting that took place in Jammu and Kashmir. NIA in court has listed out Yasin's involvement in Air Force officials' killing. Yasin has been convicted of indulging in acts of terror and raising funds for terror activities. He was convicted after pleading guilty to charges related to terror funding, spreading terrorism and successionist activities in Kashmir in 2017. Backing Yasin Malik, PDP chief Mehbooba Mufti has said that the case must be reviewed, reconsidered, since even the assassins of a prime minister were pardoned. Kanu Sharda joining us on the phone line, who's tracking court for us. Kanu, tell us a little more on the court's observations. NIA seeking death penalty for Yasin Malik.
Yes, Nabila, the NIA is seeking a death penalty for Yasin Malik basically on the grounds that, if a dreaded terrorist like him is not given a death penalty on the grounds that he has pleaded guilty, then it will basically result in the complete erosion of the country's sentencing policy. This is the main ground on which NIA is seeking death penalty, saying that he is involved in so many terrorist activities in the past, and he himself has pleaded guilty, but that doesn't give him a chance that, he should be given a life imprisonment and not death penalty. So some certain records were asked to be produced before the High Court from the trial court, which was scheduled to be produced any time now. So the hearing is still underway when we speak. Basically, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta today told the Delhi High Court that if this kind of plea is allowed, that if an accused is pleaded guilty and then he is given a lesser punishment, then a wrong trend would be set in the criminal jurisprudence, and this should not be allowed, and that is why they are seeking the death penalty.
All right, we're going to slip into a short break on that. Kanu, thank you very much for joining us. Prime Minister Modi on the other side of a short break, taking you through Prime Minister Modi's grand announcement of completing 9 years. He's going to be holding several press conferences, rallies, over 50 of them across India, to announce the achievements of Prime Minister Modi under his governance, the 9 years, what India has achieved. More on that on the other side of a short break. Stay with us.
युवा साथियों को सुविधा होगी और सबसे अहम बात, इससे पर्यटन और व्यापार से बनने वाले रोजगार बढ़ेंगे। ये वंदे भारत एक्सप्रेस मां कामाख्या मंदिर, काजीरंगा, मानस राष्ट्रीय उद्यान, पवित्रा वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी को कनेक्ट करेगी। इसके साथ साथ मेघालय के शिलोंग, चेरापूंजी और अरुणाचल प्रदेश के तवांग और पासीघाट तक भी पर्यटकों की सुविधा बढ़ जाएगी। भाइयों और बहनों, इसी सप्ताह केंद्र में
एनडीए की सरकार के 9 साल पूरे हुए हैं। बीते 9 साल भारत के लिए अभूतपूर्व उपलब्धियों के रहे हैं, नए भारत के निर्माण के रहे हैं। कल ही देश को आजाद भारत की भव्य दिव्य आधुनिक संसद मिली है। ये भारत के हजारों वर्ष पुराने लोकतांत्रिक इतिहास को हमारे समृद्ध लोकतांत्रिक भविष्य से जोड़ने वाली संसद है। बीते 9 वर्षों की ऐसी अनेक उपलब्धियां हैं जिनके बारे में पहले कल्पना करना भी मुश्किल था। 2014 से पहले के दशक में इतिहास के घोटालों के हर रिकॉर्ड टूट गए थे। इन घोटालों ने सबसे ज्यादा नुकसान देश के गरीब का किया था, देश के ऐसे क्षेत्रों का किया था जो विकास में पीछे रह गए थे। हमारी सरकार ने सबसे ज्यादा गरीब कल्याण को प्राथमिकता दी। गरीबों के घर से लेकर महिलाओं के लिए टॉयलेट तक, पानी की पाइपलाइन से लेकर बिजली कनेक्शन तक, गैस पाइपलाइन से लेकर एम्स मेडिकल कॉलेज तक, रोड, रेल, जलमार्ग, पोर्ट, एयरपोर्ट, मोबाइल कनेक्टिविटी, हमने हर क्षेत्र में पूरी शक्ति से काम किया है। आज भारत में हो रहे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के काम की पूरी दुनिया में बहुत चर्चा हो रही है, क्योंकि यही इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तो जीवन आसान बनाता है। यही इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तो रोजगार के अवसर बनाता है। यही इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तेज विकास का आधार है। यही इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर गरीब, दलित, पिछड़े, आदिवासी ऐसे हर वंचित को सशक्त करता है। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सबके लिए है, समान रूप से हैं, बिना भेदभाव के हैं। और इसलिए ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर निर्माण भी एक तरह से सच्चा सामाजिक न्याय है, सच्चा सेक्युलरिज्म है। भाइयों और बहनों, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर निर्माण के इस काम का सबसे अधिक लाभ अगर किसी को हुआ है तो वो पूर्वी और उत्तर पूर्वी भारत है। अपने अतीत की नाकामियों पर पर्दा डालने के लिए कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि पहले भी तो नॉर्थ ईस्ट में बहुत काम हुआ था। ऐसे लोगों की सच्चाई नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लोग बहुत अच्छी तरह जानते हैं। इन लोगों ने नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लोगों को मूल सुविधाओं के लिए भी दशकों तक इंतजार करवाया। इस अक्षम्य अपराध का बहुत बड़ा नुकसान नॉर्थ ईस्ट ने उठाया है। जो हजारों गांव, करोड़ों परिवार 9 साल पहले तक बिजली से वंचित थे, उनमें से बहुत बड़ी संख्या नॉर्थ ईस्ट के परिवारों की थी। टेलीफोन, मोबाइल कनेक्टिविटी से वंचित हुए बड़ी आबादी नॉर्थ ईस्ट की ही थी। अच्छे रेल, रोड, एयरपोर्ट की कनेक्टिविटी का अभाव भी सबसे अधिक नॉर्थ ईस्ट में था। भाई और बहनों, जब सेवा भाव से काम होता है तो कैसे बदलाव आता है, इसका साक्षी नॉर्थ ईस्ट की रेल कनेक्टिविटी है। मैं जिस स्पीड, स्केल और नियत की बात करता हूं, ये उसका भी प्रमाण है। आप कल्पना कीजिए, देश में 150 वर्ष से भी पहले पहली रेल मुंबई महानगर से चली थी। उसके 3 दशक के बाद ही असम में भी पहली रेल चल चुकी थी। गुलामी के उस कालखंड में भी असम हो, त्रिपुरा हो, पश्चिम बंगाल हो, हर क्षेत्र को रेल से जोड़ा गया था। हालांकि तब जो नियत थी वो जनहित के लिए नहीं थी। उस समय अंग्रेजों का इरादा क्या था? इस पूरे भूभाग के संसाधनों को लूटना, यहां की प्राकृतिक संपदा को लूटना। आजादी के बाद नॉर्थ ईस्ट में स्थितियां बदलनी चाहिए थी। रेलवे का विस्तार होना चाहिए था, लेकिन नॉर्थ ईस्ट के अधिकतर राज्यों को रेल से जोड़ने का काम 2024 के बाद हमें करना पड़ा। भाइयों और बहनों, आपके इस सेवक ने नॉर्थ ईस्ट के जनजीवन की संवेदना और सुविधा को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता दी है। देश में आया यही बदलाव बीते 9 वर्षों में सबसे बड़ा और सबसे प्रखर है, जिसे नॉर्थ ईस्ट से विशेष रूप से अनुभव किया है। पिछले 9 वर्षों में पहले की तुलना में नॉर्थ ईस्ट में रेलवे के विकास के लिए बजट भी कई गुना बढ़ाया गया है। 2014 से पहले नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए रेलवे का बजट औसत बजट करीब 2,500 करोड़ रुपए का होता था। 2,500 करोड़ रुपया, 2,500। इस बार नॉर्थ ईस्ट का रेल बजट 10,000 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक है, यानी लगभग 4 गुना बढ़ोतरी की गई है। इस समय मणिपुर, मिजोरम, नागालैंड, मेघालय और सिक्किम की राजधानियों को बाकी देश से जोड़ने का काम भी तेज गति से चल रहा है। बहुत जल्द नॉर्थ ईस्ट की सभी राजधानियां ब्रॉडगेज नेटवर्क से जुड़ने वाली हैं। इन प्रोजेक्ट्स पर 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का खर्च किया जा रहा है। ये दिखाता है कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट की कनेक्टिविटी के लिए बीजेपी की सरकार कितनी प्रतिबद्ध है। भाई और बहनों, आज जिस स्केल के साथ, जिस स्पीड के साथ हम काम कर रहे हैं, वह अभूतपूर्व है। अब नॉर्थ ईस्ट में पहले के मुकाबले 3 गुना तेजी से नई रेल लाइनें बिछाई जा रही हैं। अब नॉर्थ ईस्ट में पहले के मुकाबले 9 गुना तेजी से रेलवे लाइनों का दोहरीकरण हो रहा है। पिछले 9 वर्षों में ही नॉर्थ ईस्ट के रेल नेटवर्क का बिजलीकरण शुरू हुआ और अब 100% लक्ष्य की तरफ तेजी से बढ़ रहा है। साथियों, ऐसी ही स्पीड और स्केल के कारण आज नॉर्थ ईस्ट के अनेक क्षेत्र पहली बार रेल सेवा से जुड़ रहे हैं। नागालैंड को 100 साल के बाद अपना दूसरा रेलवे स्टेशन अब मिला है, जहां कभी नैरो गेज पर धीमी रेल चलती थी, वहां अब सेमी हाई स्पीड वंदे भारत और तेजस एक्सप्रेस जैसी ट्रेनें चलने लगी हैं। आज नॉर्थ ईस्ट के पर्यटन को बढ़ावा देने के लिए रेलवे के विस्टा डोम कोच भी नया आकर्षण बन रहे हैं। भाइयों और बहनों, गति के साथ साथ भारतीय रेल आज दिलों को जोड़ने, समाज को जोड़ने और लोगों को अवसरों से जोड़ने का भी माध्यम बन रही है। आप देखिए, गुवाहाटी रेलवे स्टेशन पर भारत का पहला ट्रांसजेंडर टी स्टॉल खोला गया है। ये उन साथियों को सम्मान का जीवन देने का प्रयास है जिनकी समाज से बेहतर बर्ताव की अपेक्षा है। इसी प्रकार वन स्टेशन वन प्रोडक्ट, इस योजना के तहत नॉर्थ ईस्ट के रेलवे स्टेशनों पर स्टॉल्स बनाए गए हैं। ये वोकल फॉर लोकल को बल दे रहे हैं। इससे हमारे स्थानीय कारीगर, कलाकार, शिल्पकार, ऐसे साथियों को नया बाजार मिला है। नॉर्थ ईस्ट के सैकड़ों स्टेशनों पर वाईफाई की सुविधा दी गई है। संवेदनशीलता और गति के इसी संगम से ही प्रगति पथ पर नॉर्थ ईस्ट आगे बढ़ेगा। विकसित भारत के निर्माण का रास्ता सशक्त होगा। एक बार फिर आप सभी को वंदे भारत और दूसरे सभी प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Quality today. In Delhi, 91. In Mumbai, 65. In Kolkata, 78. In Bengaluru, 65. In Chennai, 121. In Hyderabad, 82.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.
All right, welcome back. Manipur on the edge after fresh spate of ethnic violence reported ahead of Amit Shah's visit to the violence-hit Manipur. Kuki terrorists allegedly carrying weapons set many houses ablaze and vehicles vandalized in Serau and Suguru areas. Angry mobs there storming into a BJP MLA K. Raghumani's residence as well, and we see how his home has been vandalized. Amit Shah will be leaving for Manipur today for a 3-day tour. He will be meeting with local communities there and party cadres. Also set to hold a meeting there with Security Department's top officials over recent spate of violence. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has said that around 40 militants have been killed by security forces during retaliatory fire and defensive operations. Meanwhile, a Congress delegation all set to meet with President Draupadi Murmu over the Manipur violence ensuing.
Mr. Amit Shah ji is coming to Manipur for the 3 days. So we request and appeal to him to take the necessary steps and action as early as possible in his journey, because this is not a time to negotiate and this is not a time to talk about the peace, because if this action is not taken to the earliest, the Manipur will vanish.
Sir, Manipur situation के लिए क्या brief करने वाले हैं सर? उसके लिए हम मंगलवार के दिन प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया से टाइम पूछे हैं. हम जाकर डेलीगेशन में जाकर उनसे मिलेंगे और मिलकर उनसे ये सारी चीजें बताएंगे.
Cutting across to Ritik Mandal, joining us live from Kolkata. Ritik, give us more on the tensions that prevail currently in Manipur. It is upsetting and tragic to see that many lives lost. We see now a lot of the alleged terrorists and militants who are now carrying out enough and more vandalism for the Home Ministry itself to take note. Amit Shah is due to arrive there to take cognizance. But even before his visit, we see a BJP MLA's home has been vandalized. It's almost a statement that they want to send out.
Well, that's right, Nabila, that Home Minister Amit Shah will be visiting, violence-hit northeastern state Manipur today, and he will stay there till 1st of June. And amidst a situation when the situation is not really good, what we are picking up that situation in Manipur is extremely vulnerable. And what we know that fresh violences have been evaporated across Manipur ahead of Home Minister's visit. And what, as per the government of Manipur is concerned, we are given to understand that government report says that since last couple of days, that in a joint operation conducted by the commandos of Manipur police with the help of army, they did several rounds of operation, counter-insurgency measures across the Manipur. And what more we are picking up, at least 35 militant, and I quote Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, where he says that terrorists, those were using, sophisticated weapon against the civilian of Manipur, have been killed in this gun battle. And what more we are picking up, yesterday, BJP MLA's house particularly was attacked by mob. And these are the, measures are being taken at this point in time in Manipur. Situation is really a matter of concern. Amid a situation, Amit Shah will be visiting and will be staying there for next couple of days, where he will chair several rounds of crucial meeting to restore the peace back in the valley. But what more we are picking up that, particularly he will be meeting several administrative heads, and also will meet the representative of both the communities. And at a time when these things are unfolding, and we did see that, statesmen coming from the Kuki community, they are also looking forward to Amit Shah's visit to Manipur. They are,
stay with us. I'm going to quickly cut across to stay with us. I'm cutting across to Nirmala Sitharaman, Finance Minister, speaking at a press conference. Listening.
Dignity is protected. Toilets were being constructed, and 11.72 crores of toilets have been already built for the sake of our people, of which 100% coverage has been achieved in rural India. Whereas it was only 13% earlier in 2013-14. Now, access to water in houses, again, 12 crore households have been covered with access to pure and good drinking water. You all know the story of Ujjwala. 9.6 crore families have been given free connection and then the cylinders are being used. There are always this discussion about now when the prices have gone up, what happens? 200 rupees per cylinder, unlimited number of cylinders we are subsidizing even today. So the prices have gone up, not because we want to increase the price, it's a global fact and we are importing it. But we have made sure that 200 rupees goes to the account the moment the order for another cylinder is booked. Then this fact about which Deputy Chief Minister Fadnavis Saab referred, 80 crore people for 2 full years have been given totally free grains and some quantity of pulses so that some protein is also supplied to them. And that even today when we go for international meets in the World Bank or IMF has been acclaimed as one of the biggest food security programs in the world, achieved without fail, and it reached the people even during the lockdown. Again, a fact which Fadnavis ji referred to is cover up to 5 lakh crores for medical facilities for all the poor people. This is a very sensitive topic which even our Honorable Prime Minister spoke from the Dread Fort. So are we making sure that the poor girls are given sanitary equipments and sanitary pads? So that today is being given through Jan Aushadhi Kendras, 1 rupee per pad available in Jan Aushadhi Kendras. There's no doubt that it has made a big change to the poor people. Jan Aushadhi Kendras is something which I already spoke about. For lifestyle related diseases, where people were spending more than about 4,000, 5,000 rupees per month on getting medicines for that. Today, that very set of medicines is available between 800 and 1,000 rupees for the same set of medicines, provided they were generically bought. I mean, they are generic drugs rather than branded. It's brought down medical expenses, out-of-pocket expenses drastically down for people. This is a story which we've said in the Parliament several times. During the pandemic and immediately after that, international fertilizer prices shot up the roof. 95% of all the fertilizers that Indian farmers use are imported. There are 3 or 4 different categories they bring in, and all these are largely imported. And 1 or 2 of them became so expensive. But Prime Minister Modi was very clear that we can't let the farmers not have adequate fertilizers, but at the same time we can't shift the burden of the price to them. So the entire cost of increase was borne by the central government, and the farmer was paying the same price that he paid before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and even after the pandemic, and no increase has been shifted to the farmer. Loans to buy seeds and 6,000 rupees per farmer, Kisan Samman Nidhi. I move also to talk about the social justice. 10% EWS quota has really helped a lot of poor families. There are very many anecdotal stories about how children coming from such families have today found admission in courses which they would have otherwise not dreamed about. Backward Classes Commission is a milestone achievement, and it is disappointing to say that today the leading opposition, which constantly questions about, what are you doing for poor? This is, you have a Central Vista program costing so much, but are you doing for the poor? Where the very same people who oppose the formation of Backward Class Commission. I wish and honestly request the media humbly that such questions should be asked of the opposition when they talk as though, this expenditure on the parliament is not required, it should have been spent on poor people. You didn't even support the Backward Classes Commission for a very long time. They stood against it. This is a step which I duly thank the Honorable Prime Minister for having brought this category till then, people were just saying handicapped, physically handicapped, mentally handicapped, whatever. He gave them a dignity by saying they have a quality which is not found in ordinary people and called them Divyang. And then 7 to 21 categories have now been, where it was just 7 categories, 21 other categories have also been brought in. 77 categories have gone up to 21, and that is respect which is being given to Divyang. By increasing the categories, the facilities and the government support also increases. Now this is something which I will very quickly pass through. In the last 9 years, 74 new airports have been added, whereas till 2014, India had only 74. So 74 plus 74 is what we have now. Similarly, road construction till 2014, 91,000 odd kilometers. Now, additionally 53,000 odd kilometers. 9 years, there was no attempt to build any waterways in India, although it is cost effective. You have 111 being done in India, inland waterways. Vande Bharat Express, not with that name, any other name. No improved version of a railway coach system was introduced earlier. We brought in
Finance
Vande
Minister
Bharat.
Nirmala Sitharaman, as she lists out a few policies that the Modi government initiates. In fact, the 9 years of Prime Minister Modi's governance, as they've completed 9 years, here is a minister announcing all the achievements by the BJP and what they intend to do in the years to come if they come to power. I'm going to cut across to a short break. We'll be right back with the top news and updates. Stay with us.
Summers are devastating for stray animals. The scorching heat wave means animals living on the street struggle for water. Karma Foundation is on a mission to make life easy for stray animals.
This water bowl challenge is also one of such initiatives where we know during the scorching heats of summer has to provide the basic requirement for the health of the pet, which is water, and hence we are actually donating the water bowls.
These water bowls are a big relief for stray animals living under the open sky in sweltering weather. Karma Foundation has requested people to join their movement by placing a bowl of water outside their home or workplace. Bureau Report, India Today.
Bangalore-based EV startup Simple Energy has launched its first e-scooter. Simple One joins an increasingly popular market which includes players like Ola, Ather, Vida, Hero Electric and Bajaj among others. The company does not currently have any showrooms. The e-scooters have been priced at nearly 1.5 lakh rupees.
Strategy was very clear. We wanted to build a scooter which is super, and I think we have built that. It's in true sense of superior super EV, which does range better, performance better, safety parameters better, riding statistics. Everything is mentored and checked upon. So I think our strategy was very clear on building a great product, and the consumers will take care of it. I think we have solved that piece of it. The second piece, I think we are focused on scaling our dealership, our manufacturing capacity, and I think that will resolve most of the issues going forward. I think there are two things about it. One is, of course, reducing subsidies might deter the growth, but that's very short term. I don't think that will impact much further on it. But also it will push the OEMs to become self-sustained and will build products which are more viable.
powered by
The world comes together at Sharda University.
A very good afternoon. You're watching India Today. I'm Nabila Jamal. I'm going to take you through all the sections of the IPC that have been filed against wrestlers who've been protesting at Jantar Mantar, wanting Brij Bhushan, the WFI chief, to be arrested for sexual harassment. Cutting to the first headlines. Key details of FIRs that have been leveled and registered against these wrestlers have now been accessed. FIR says that cops alerted these protesters that their stir, this protest march that they intended to carry out from Jantar Mantar to the new Parliament building, will hurt national prestige. The cops reveal that many of those wrestlers broke barricades, obstructed the police from doing their duties. They've been now detained. Prime Minister Modi's government completes 9 years. Over 50 rallies have been planned across India. 12 BJP bigwigs to woo voters in the states. Congress assures mega 2024 win against Modi. Ahead of Home Minister Amit Shah's visit, fresh violence erupts in Manipur. Chief Minister Biren Singh says 40 terrorists have been killed by security forces. India's landmark satellite launch. ISRO launches second-gen navigation satellite launched to boost Indian GPS system. Hearing on NIA plea for death penalty for Yasin. NIA in court claims that Yasin is behind the killing of the Air Force official, says Yasin coordinated stone pelting. All right, some big news coming in from the national capital. Blood-curdling murder that's been caught on camera. This video here will certainly send chills down your spine. That's happened in the national capital. 16-year-old stabbed over 20 times. All that caught on cameras, CCTV cameras capturing this gruesome murder. Jilted lover has stabbed a teenage girl to death. Stabbed to death, bludgeoned by a stone thereafter. These visuals there showing how a jilted lover hacked to death his teenage girlfriend. This murder that's been caught on camera. Shreya joining us for a little more on that. Shreya, very, very tragic scenes that's coming from the national capital, all caught on cameras. 16-year-old stabbed over 20 times by her jilted lover, stabbed and then bludgeoned to death by a stone. Tell us a little more. Who is this boy?
Well, Nabila, shocking visuals that is coming in from Rohini Shabad Dairy, wherein in the JJ colony, we are seeing that 16-year-old Sakshi was actually brutally thrashed by her jilted lover. What we are clearly understanding that this guy named Sahil, he's right now absconding. A case of murder has been lodged against him based on the complaint of the girl's father. But from the visuals, it is very disturbing. At least 40 times she was stabbed before this guy actually goes ahead to clobber her with a stone. And we clearly see that there are a lot of people who are also surrounding the same place, and despite so, hardly any passerby attempted to stop this guy to stop from doing this kind of an incident. We can talk about the police. Obviously, people are mostly angry about the police not reacting in such cases. But what about the passerbys? These visuals clearly show that no one really attempted to stop the guy.
It's scary as we see those visuals coming from the national capital. A 16-year-old girl was hacked to death despite passers-by spotting this crime taking place. None really restricting that guy from carrying on with that murder. Let me cut across to Swati Maliwal, who's the chairperson of the Delhi Commission for Women. Ms. Maliwal, we are looking at the visuals here. Those are incriminating visuals coming to light. This boy killing his teenage girlfriend to death in full public glare. Any word on who he is? What more do we know of this case?
I think it is really shocking. I would like to say and put it on record that this has to be one of the most horrific crimes that I have witnessed in the past 8 years as the chairperson of the Delhi Commission for Women. I think it is really shocking, shameful, and I think this man needs to be immediately, strongest action has to be taken against him. The kind of crimes that are happening in the national capital, the way the criminals are being emboldened on a daily basis, I think it is just too much. Women, girls, they're very unsafe. They feel scared, and something really drastic has to be done in order to make sure that the capital becomes safe for women and girls. It's really horrible.
You know of the backstory to this murder, Ms. Maliwal? Any word on about the credibility of this boy? Does he have past criminal record? Who is this girl? Any details that your department may have sourced out?
So we are also trying to find out exactly what has happened and why it has happened. But, whatever, just the visuals are just very shocking. And we are in touch with the police. We are trying to identify who the girl was and what exactly happened and why was she hacked in this manner on the streets of Delhi. And what is also very disturbing is that one can see other women and men just passing by. I mean, there were some people who did not even turn and see what was happening. I mean, all of them, if they would have decided to come together or, at least try and attempt to help the girl. I mean, she must have been screaming at the top of her lungs, and yet nobody came out to support her. I'm really, really shocked as to what kind of a society are we living in and what kind of a society are we building. It is just really, really shameful. And Delhi police has a lot to answer. In any case, on a daily basis, we are getting rape cases of at least, 6 cases of sexual assault are being reported on a daily basis. And even yesterday, we saw that some survivors who are fighting for justice, the way they were thrashed and picked up on the streets of Delhi by the police. And FIRs have been registered against those wrestlers. So I really don't know what kind of a world are we creating and what kind of a world are we living in. On a daily basis, there's so much effort that is going in trying to assist trauma survivors. But in the end, what for? In the end, none of us are able to save this 16-year-old girl who was hacked to death for absolutely no fault of her.
Absolutely. This area specifically, has there been an issue of law and order there, Ms. Maliwal? Any word, or if you may know that this is an area that is slightly volatile? Thankfully, CCTV cameras have captured the murder, but if not, I can only imagine the guy would have gotten scot-free. But yet, it appears that he's killed that girl, he's bludgeoned her to death, knowing very well what he was getting into. And that's why he carries out that murder in full public view, people passing by, not stopping him. Out of rage, he pulls off that murder without a care.
I think he was able to get away with it and was able to somehow just plan, just do it. Because somewhere everybody, all the criminals have this message that nothing will happen. If you look at that Chawla case, this girl, 19-year-old, she was brutally murdered, gang raped, acid was thrown into her eyes, alcohol bottles were inserted in her private part. And yet they were able to walk away scot-free after 10 years. So this entire message in the society that there is absolutely no deterrence against a crime. I think that is what is really very dangerous for the society, and that has to change. Delhi police has a lot to answer. You see, in each and every street of Delhi, especially in the slum areas, the kind of crimes that are existing, the kind of impunity with which the criminals are living, and the kind of fear that the women and girls are facing, it is unprecedented. The law and order situation in Delhi is horrible. There are just so many cases that the Women Commission is receiving on a daily basis. From snatching to stalking to rape to sexual assault to domestic violence and to these kind of brutal murders. Why is it that all of this is happening? I think the root cause is that people are absolutely not scared. There is no certainty and swiftness of punishment, and that is why there is no death. And that has to change.
Ms. Maliwal, thank you very much for joining us on that. Rightly said, Swati Maliwal, who's the chairperson of the Delhi Women's Commission, calling out this murder, and also the public particularly who are watching this gruesome murder taking place but just walk past as if nothing happened. Unfortunately, the society that we live in, no responsibility is shown, no spine shown by any of those passers-by, despite seeing that girl wriggling in pain. Let me cut across to Shreya, joining us on that. Shreya, those visuals there are so shocking. It's not just about that man pulling off that murder. How old is that boy, first of all? Where is he from? Any word on his background? That aside, the passers-by, as they spot and witness this murder taking place, not one of them attempting to stop him.
Well, yes, Nabila, clearly there's a lack of good Samaritans so far as the national capital is concerned. That's one thing that's established from that CCTV visual that we are clearly showing our viewers. Now, talking about the boy, this boy named Sahil, he's right now absconding is what we've been confirmed by the police. We're yet to know whether he's a history sheeter where there are past cases against him. We're yet to receive a clarity on the same from the Delhi police. His age is also something we're yet to get a clarity on. Whether or not he's he's also not a minor or not is something we'll have to wait and watch. But as of now, Nabila, this is a very shocking visual that has come forth. And we can clearly see 40 times is when he's actually stabbed this girl. He doesn't stop there. He just takes a slab that's lying down next to the girl. Even after the girl has actually fallen on the ground, he constantly picks the rock and constantly hits her. These are trigger warning visuals. But most shocking of all is the passerbys. No one really thought that they should actually go ahead and stop this boy from what he's been doing. Extremely shocking visuals from recent times that we have seen. Delhi police has already launched a manhunt trying to locate the guy who's right now absconding. There's an FIR, as I mentioned, has been filed already on murder charges based on the complaint that the deceased girl's father has filed before the Delhi police.
Right. Shreya, police not being able to find the boy despite his face very clearly visible on CCTV cameras. How long since that murder took place? And what's the police saying to that?
Well, Nabila, it's yesterday night around 9:30 to 10 when this incident has taken place. So we can say that more than 12 hours has passed and this guy is yet to be located by the Delhi police, yet to be arrested clearly. Also, if we can clearly observe these visuals, he's not alone. There is clearly a known person of his who was also trying to pull him away. If we see the visuals from first, and that's also something that we've learned from our sources, that at least 2 or 3 persons were also part of the conspiracy. What transpired before this murder took place was that this boy and the girl had a quarrel. The day before, and then while she was going to a birthday party, this guy entered into a conspiracy of tracking her and then murdering her. This is clearly something which is shocking in a manner, and we also have to understand that a lot of time has passed. Delhi police is yet to nab, but slowly we do know that Delhi police in all likelihood will arrest him. But what next from there? There needs to be a message that needs to be set also. He needs to be given strictest punishment, because these kind of visuals are very disturbing to the society. Lot of questions on the role of the Delhi police as well. These are areas in the JJ colonies. These are clusters where sensitization and workshops are also supposed to be done that probably only are limited as mere PR tactics. So probably something needs to be changed on the ground. That's something that we can clearly say from these visuals. 40 times, no less than 40 times that man constantly stabbed that girl, and then he didn't stop there. He took up a slab and again constantly hit her, clobbered her on the face. This is clearly very disturbing and shocking visuals coming in from the national capital.
Right, Shreya, do stay with us. If I could give a quick look, a close-up look at the CCTV footage to show you exactly, and our viewers here, what exactly has happened there in this area at around 9:30 p.m. Clearly, people moving around. It's in full public glare and view that this man who approaches that girl, she seems to be at one corner of that road there, and this accused goes right up to her with a knife and stabs her, as Shreya tells us, nearly 40 times. He stabbed her in full public glare. That's the boy there you see in a blue t-shirt. His age, his whereabouts, his background is yet to be ascertained, but he walks straight up brazenly to that young girl, 16-year-old girl is what we've been told, 40 times stabs her, and then lets go of the knife, picks up a huge stone right beside, and bludgeons her to death. This is brazen murder in full public glare with people there, passers-by, all the more shockingly, not stopping that man from pulling off that murder. They do not even interfere for a moment, don't raise an alarm. just spot this crime happening and walk past. That's how shameful a bunch of the passers-by have behaved by not taking responsibility, alerting the cops maybe. They've just passed on, moved on from that spot of crime without actually raising an alarm or restricting that guy from carrying out that murder. We believe, as per the reports that we have, that girl has been stabbed in the chest and the stomach. At least 40 times the boy has stabbed that girl. His age, is he a minor? Is he also below 18 is something that we've got to ascertain, but that girl is 16 years of age, and we believe that they were in a relationship, and this also, as per Shreya, what we understand, this is a premeditated murder. He knew very well that this girl was going to be in the same spot here. He planned with one of his friends. We believe that one of those people there in the visuals, not to show exactly, I can't point out, we've got to wait for the police to confirm, but one of those men, along with that blue t-shirt boy who's murdering that girl, came with that boy. He was accompanied by one of the men there, pulled off that murder and walks away brazenly. Those are the visuals there. We see the ferocious and angry murderer, after pulling off that crime in full public light, walks away. And he's now been absconding. The police now trying to track him down, but his face very clear on CCTV cameras. We're hoping that the police cracks down on him. But here is this murder that's happened in the national capital in Delhi, with CCTV cameras fully capturing this crime scene. Let's just hope the police are able to nab him at the earliest. Shreya joining us for more. Shreya, tell us more about this area and the accomplice. You did mention that he came in, that murderer came in with one of the boys who could be the accomplice in the murder. Who is that? Can you identify, or has the police identified in the visual, the CCTV cameras here, as to who accompanied this murderer to pull off this crime? And you did say that this was a premeditated one. He knew that the girl was there at the spot. There was a birthday party celebration. So it was planned. This boy planned the whole act in advance and came by and killed this girl. Give us a little sense on the planning itself that went behind this very gruesome killing.
Well, absolutely, Nabila. We cannot really say that this murder was in a spur of the moment. What we clearly do know from our sources in the Delhi police right now, that there was a quarrel that happened between the both of them, the day earlier in the day. And then this boy actually knew that this girl was going through her friend Neetu's birthday party. So this girl was going through a birthday party when this guy intercepted her. And we clearly do understand from our sources that at least one or two men were also accompanying this particular guy. So clearly they were also a part of the conspiracy to track the girl down. We'll have to wait and watch that what actions are subsequently taken against those men. We are still yet to get clarity that whether some of his friends or his accomplices are yet detained, but Delhi police is still not given a word that whether he's arrested. As of now, we know this guy is absconding, but we can clearly say from the visuals and from what details we know from Delhi police that this is a premeditated murder. This guy intercepted the girl, then at that very place in Shahbaz Delhi's JJ colony, stabbed her, and not just stopped there, he then used a slab that was lying down there and then thrashed her face multiple times. So that was very disturbing visuals. Clearly the Delhi police is yet to arrest that. We'll have to arrest the boy. We'll have to wait and watch how far and how quickly they make the arrest. But again, the question lies on the people, the public. This was a murder in a full public glare. We are not talking about a time which is late in the midnight. This is somewhere in between 9 and 10, where a lot of people were around in the area, which is also established from those CCTV visuals. Even then, not a single person thought that they should intervene, stop the boy from murdering the girl in full public day. This person that we're talking about, the girl, she's a minor, she's a 16-year-old girl who was brutally killed. Till now, Delhi police is yet to arrest this guy that we're talking.
Shreya, I'm going to cut across to Delhi PRO giving an official statement on this very gruesome murder.
उसमें मल्टीपल टीम्स हैं, वह बन गई हैं और इन्वेस्टिगेशन पूरे फुल स्विंग पर चल रहा है और एक्यूज्ड है उसको भी आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया गया है और जल्द ही हम उसको गिरफ्तार करने में कामयाब होंगे।
अभी तक कुछ मोटिव सामने आया मैम?
अभी एक्टिव इन्वेस्टिगेशन में और इसके ऊपर अभी कमेंट करना उचित नहीं होगा। तो यही कह सकते हैं कि ये एक्टिव अभी एक्यूज आइडेंटिफाइड है और उसको अरेस्ट भी हम जल्दी करेंगे।
एक ही आरोपी, कई आरोपी हैं अभी तक की जांच में शामिल?
अगेन मैं इस पर कमेंट नहीं करना चाहूँगी क्योंकि इन्वेस्टिगेशन अभी चल रहा है, अभी प्रिलिमिनरी स्टेज पर है कुछ ही घंटे हुए हैं, तो इसके ऊपर कमेंट नहीं करना चाहूँगी। ये कहना चाहूँगी कि केस हमारे संज्ञान में है, इसके ऊपर इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रही है और सारी कोशिशें की जा रही हैं, एक्यूज आइडेंटिफाइड हैं और जल्द ही शीघ्र ही उसको अरेस्ट कर लिया जाएगा।
थैंक यू।
All right, that's the Delhi police. PRO says that they're investigating the matter. The police now in swift action trying to ensure that this man is found. He's nabbed at the earliest, but this is the visual there showing how this murderer has pulled off this crime in broad, in full public view. In fact, 40 times he stabbed that young girl, 16-year-old girl, after it seems like their relationship went wrong. And here we see the police now have launched a bunch of their teams to crack down on this man who remains absconding. All right, now Lokayukta in Bengaluru has taken note of Bengaluru techie's death. Lokayukta files suo moto case against the civic body, the BBMP. 23-year-old techie had drowned in a Bengaluru underpass. Lokayukta takes cognizance of the techie's death in Bengaluru underpass, files a suo moto case, issues notice to the BBMP and seeks an explanation from those officials on what led to the crumbling infrastructure, whether it was carelessness of the civic body to ensure that roads are safe for passengers, for commuters to ply. A bout of rain and we saw a lot of the underpasses in the city fully submerged. Unknowingly, one of those vehicles there that was stranded. Unfortunately, almost 6 of them who were in that car. The car too was overcrowded. We believe that there were 6 to 7 passengers. A lot of those passengers climbed on top of that car while one of that girl, the 23-year-old techie herself, working with Infosys, was stuck inside that vehicle and died due to asphyxiation. And this happened at KR Circle underpass. Flooding that was reported on the 21st May led to this young techie's death. And now the Lokayukta, taking suo moto cognizance, files a case against the civic body, the BBMP. All right, cutting across to Rajasthan as the Congress crisis itself there deepens. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot hits out at Sachin Pilot, says can't take post just by asking. Gehlot says top brass won't just give party posts to people just like that. We're going to take you through the response of Ashok Gehlot as Sachin Pilot launches agitation, puts out lists of demands asking for the Congress High Command and Ashok Gehlot to meet those demands. And of course, this is positioning for the upcoming Rajasthan elections. Sachin Pilot has also been vying for the Chief Minister's post, to which Gehlot says you can't just get a post by asking for it. Listen in.
कांग्रेस पार्टी तो मजबूत है कि ऐसी स्थिति नहीं है कि आप किसी को मनाने के लिए ऑफर करो, आप कौन सा पद स्वीकार करोगे। ऐसा आज तक ऐसी कभी हुआ नहीं जिंदगी में, ना कभी होगा। कांग्रेस बहुत मजबूत संगठन है, आज भी हाईकमांड बहुत मजबूत है। ना किसी कार्यकर्ता नेता की इतनी हिम्मत है वो कहे नहीं ये नहीं मैं ये लूंगा पद, ऐसा कभी होता नहीं है। ये सब स्टोरी अखबार में चलती रहती है या फिर कुछ लोग चलाते रहते हैं या स्टोरी बनवाते रहते होंगे, कोई दम नहीं है।
All right, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot hitting out at Sachin Pilot, saying that you can't get a post only by asking for it, almost indicating that you've got to work for it. And this has, the feud between the two has been on for a few months now. It's out in the open. The Congress High Command has been trying very, very hard to pacify two of their top faces in the state of Rajasthan, barely a few months away ahead of elections. And you have their top Congress faces, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot, both of them warring, with Sachin Pilot accusing Gehlot of not fulfilling the promises that he made to the state of Rajasthan. So this internal rift within the Congress party itself has really brought much embarrassment to the Congress party. And just days ago, Mallikarjun Kharge had tried to step in to pacify the two, also brought a consensus. And a few days later, you have this the crack wide open yet again. Rahul Gautam joining us for more. But before that, let's cut across again Gehlot as he said what he said.
कांग्रेस पार्टी इतनी मजबूत है कि ऐसी स्थिति नहीं आई कि आप किसी को मनाने के लिए ऑफर करो, आप कौन सा पद स्वीकार करोगे। ऐसा आज तक ऐसे कभी हुआ नहीं जिंदगी में, ना कभी होगा। कांग्रेस बहुत मजबूत संगठन है, आज भी हाईकमांड बहुत मजबूत है। ना किसी कार्यकर्ता नेता की इतनी हिम्मत है वो कहने ये नहीं मैं ये लूंगा पद, ऐसा कभी होता नहीं है। ये सब स्टोरी अखबार में चलती रहती है या फिर कुछ लोग चलाते रहते हैं या स्टोरी बनवाते रहते होंगे, कोई दम नहीं है।
All right, I'm cutting across to our reporter Rahul Gautam from Delhi, who's been tracking very closely the kind of rift within the Congress in Rajasthan. Rahul, it's just a few months away for elections in Rajasthan. The Congress really failing to pacify two of their tallest faces. Tell us a little more of the significance and what context did Ashok Gehlot say that you can't just get a post by asking for it?
Well, just before this crucial meeting that's going to happen here at Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge's residence, it seems that Mr. Ashok Gehlot has set the line for the upcoming meeting, saying that one cannot dare to ask for a post or a responsibility in Congress party from High Command, and it's the sole prerogative of the High Command as to what responsibility they are going to offer to you. So basically, he was saying this in the context of these media reports that Sachin Pilot could be accommodated as a PCC president, or he could be offered as a PCC as a deputy chief minister. So obviously it seems that he has put an end to all these speculations, and just before this crucial meeting, and put in clear words that High Command is the sole authority as far as Congress party is concerned, right. And it is the High Command that are going to decide that what role you are going to play in the upcoming assembly polls, or what responsibility is going to be assigned to you. So clearly it seems that he's putting pressure on Sachin Pilot, and at the same time he's also sending a message to High Command that one should not expect, or one should not put pressure on High Command to take responsibilities. It's a sole prerogative of the High Command as what responsibility they're going to give to you.
People make those statements. I mean, these things that have to be said will be said. Ultimately, Sachin Pilot has launched such an agitation that it appears has really dented the Rajasthan Congress's prospects ahead of elections. Of course, both the rift between the two itself has really embarrassed the party at large. Slipping into a short break on that note, on the other side, I'm taking you through Maharashtra's Chief Minister Eknath Shinde announcing that Bandra-Versova Sea Link Bridge will now be named as Veer Savarkar Setu. Stay with us.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
All right, now Delhi High Court issues a notice to Yasin Malik. Notice has been issued to Yasin Malik on the NIA's plea seeking death sentence. Notice to be served through Tihar Jail Authority. Yasin Malik, the NIA now pushing for death sentence for Yasin Malik. As we see the Delhi court all set to issue a notice to Yasin Malik. Notice has been issued to Yasin on the NIA's plea itself, seeking death penalty, a death sentence for him. Notice to be served through Tihar Jail Authority. The latest update coming in on the Yasin Malik case, as allegations that he's been involved in several cases of murder and disrupting peace. And here Yasin Malik, proper statement, a notice itself will be going out to him by the Delhi High Court based on the NIA's plea or NIA's appeal seeking death sentence. Anisha Mathur joining us for more. Anisha, tell us more. Delhi High Court issuing a notice to Yasin Malik. What does a notice really contain?
Well, Nabila, the NIA has approached the Delhi High Court seeking death penalty for Yasin Malik in the larger conspiracy case arising out of the investigation done by the NIA into terror funding and repeated terror attacks in Kashmir and in India. Now, Yasin Malik, being the JKLF chief, had been given life imprisonment by the trial court because the trial court said that this is not a rarest of the rare case, and which is why the NIA has come now to the Delhi High Court saying that he is a terrorist, that he has in fact pleaded guilty to offences including Section 121 of the IPC, which is of waging war against the country. He's also pleaded guilty to offences under Section 15 of the UAPA, which is also of participation in a terrorist activity, terror funding, etc. What is important to note, however, Nabila, is that on the 9th of August, when which is the next date of hearing, Yasin Malik will have to be present in the Delhi High Court in response to the NIA's petition. Notice in this particular situation means that the Yasin Malik now gets a chance to give his side of the arguments as far as the death penalty plea is concerned. Now, NIA in their petition and in the arguments before the bench of Justices Siddharth Mridul and Talwant Singh has said that Yasin Malik has been involved in repeated terror activities since the 1980s, that in 1989 he had crossed over to Pakistan, gotten weapons training. He was responsible for a lot of violence in the 1990s, including the killing of 4 Air Force personnel in Rawalpura in Kashmir in 1994. He was also responsible for the kidnapping of Rubaiya Saeed, the daughter of the then Home Minister, which resulted in the release of 4 dreaded terrorists who then went on to mastermind the 26/11 attacks on India. Further, the court has been informed by the NIA that there are several other charges against Yasin Malik, including encouraging terrorist activities, encouraging secession from India, including encouragement of stone pelting. Now, what the NIA said, and I'm reading from their application, that an act of terrorism, waging war against the state with the help of foreign terrorist organizations and having interest inimical to India per se falls into a rarest of the rare case. And therefore, instead of giving just a life imprisonment, he should have been given death penalty by the trial court itself. Now remember, the trial court, the NIA special court in May 2022 had declined to give death penalty, saying that this is not a rarest of the rare case. But the Solicitor General of India, Tushar Mehta, in his arguments today has repeatedly been saying that if terrorist activities of this scale are not rarest of the rare, then what else will count in that particular categorization? Because remember, under Indian law, death penalty is not given except for in what counts as rarest of the rare cases. What is also important is that the Solicitor General and the NIA have argued that not giving capital punishment in a case like this to a dreaded terrorist would lead to miscarriage of justice. That, in fact, Solicitor General repeatedly argued that if since the trial court had given life imprisonment instead of death penalty on the ground that Yasin Malik had in fact pleaded guilty and accepted his crime, therefore giving such kind of a lenient punishment instead of capital punishment would let other dreaded terrorists also escape death penalty by simply pleading guilty, staying in jail, and then by waiting for somebody else to rescue them, either politically or by doing the same kind of kidnapping or violence that was done in the Rubaiya Syed case. So effectively the NIA is saying that if Yasin Malik continues to remain in jail instead of hanging, there would be further trouble in the country. Back to you.
All right, well, that said, we're seeing the Hurriyat conference claiming that this is unjust and not right for the NIA to ask for capital punishment on Yasin Malik, but ultimately the decision now in the hands of the court. Thank you very much, Anisha, for joining us on that. As the noose here tightens around the Kashmiri separatist Yasin Malik, NIA's appeal before the Delhi High Court seeking death penalty for Yasin Malik in Jammu and Kashmir's terror funding case. NIA in court has mentioned Yasin was the catalyst of deadly 26/11 attacks, his hand behind the coordinated stone pelting in Jammu and Kashmir as well. NIA in court has listed out Yasin's involvement in Air Force officials' killing as well. Yasin has been convicted of indulging in acts of terror, raising funds for terror activities as well. He was convicted after pleading guilty to charges related to terror funding, spreading terrorism and secessionist activities in Kashmir in 2017. Meanwhile, backing Yasin Malik, PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti has said that the case must be reviewed and reconsidered since even assassins of the Prime Minister were pardoned. All right, more good news coming in as Chandrayaan 3 is all set to be launched in July this year. After failure of Chandrayaan 2, ISRO follows up Moon Mission 3 to land on dark side of the moon. Chandrayaan 3 contains a lander and a rover. A big challenge, of course, would be safe and soft landing on the moon. Chandrayaan 3 all set to land on the moon. This is, of course, big news as Chandrayaan 2, the landing itself was problematic, and right after that failure, it appears ISRO is all geared up to launch Chandrayaan 3, and this is, of course, a matter of huge pride. The only challenge would be the soft landing of the Chandrayaan 3 on the moon, but this is a follow-on mission on Chandrayaan 2 to demonstrate end-to-end capability in safe landing and roving on the moon. As the ISRO now all set to launch Chandrayaan 3 in July this year. In fact, this comes after a second-generation navigation satellite, NSV-1's successful launch a little earlier today in Sriharikota. Let me cut across to ISRO chief speaking.
Chandrayaan 3 is already getting ready for launch this coming July. Our target is to launch in July itself. And because there is a given slot which will make it possible, so we are working towards that. Everything is getting ready. I don't find any problem for it. This time we are going to surely land because we have done all what corrections that we can think of and do of has been done, and all simulations to make sure that things that can go wrong are addressed. So with that confidence we'll go, and if you have any doubt we will not launch. That much I can tell.
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Pramod Madhav, who's been tracking all that moon mission by ISRO. It is certainly a matter of pride. Pramod, tell us more on Chandrayaan 3, a follow-up mission of Chandrayaan 2. Give us a sense of the glitches that took place while launching Chandrayaan 2 and the confidence with which ISRO chairman speaks of relaunching Chandrayaan 3 this time that contains a lander and a rover.